train along a freeway involving up to 30 cargo train cars led to closures of an interstate. Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District's Adam Mayberry.
There were no hazardous spills or spills of any kind or any cargo that went into the river or impacted the incident scene.
Officials say cleanup in the region could take several days.
Breaking news with Tiger Woods. There's news that he was involved in what the sheriff's office in Florida described as a rollover car crash. This happened in Jupiter Island today. His condition is not clear at this time. A news conference is scheduled for 4 o'clock our time. As soon as we learn more, we'll bring it to you live.
Back at home, 2 men facing charges after a police chase through West Allis ends at the ballpark.
13 pursuits, times 2. Wanted for order of 961 eastbound.
Footage there showing officers chasing a car after it fled a traffic stop near 60th and Greenfield back on March 20th. Car speeding through the American Family Field parking lot before a pit maneuver stopped the vehicle. Guns, marijuana, and cash were found inside the car. Both the driver and passenger are convicted felons.
City of Milwaukee suing an out-of-state landlord for a laundry list of code violations.
Going beyond just the status of the properties, we are asking a court to declare how they operate a nuisance in the city of Milwaukee.
The 2 lawsuits target nearly 200 properties owned by High Grove Holdings, in the first major public nuisance actions filed by City Attorney Evan Goyke since he took office in 2024. The city is also joining a separate lawsuit filed by U.S. Bank.
U.S. Bank lent High Grove over $6 million, and High Grove has not paid back their loan.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
After more than 200 Milwaukee Public Schools employees learned their jobs would be cut, educators are now outraged about broken promises. Superintendent Dr. Brenda Casalia said none of the cuts are classroom positions. However, the Milwaukee Teachers Education Association is disagreeing on that definition. Union President Ingrid Walker-Henry.
The countless paraprofessionals and children's health assistants that have been told this week that they have either been cut from their school's budget or that their hours have been reduced.
The superintendent has said affected employees can apply for other open positions. Staff cuts also include the central office as well as assistant principals.
New curfews for young people coming to downtown Milwaukee this summer. Milwaukee Police Captain Robert Thiel says a new curfew center would hold youth under 17. He tells 101.7 The Truth.
They'll have some dedicated officers there that can evaluate to see if maybe a citation or maybe just a warning. Or the challenge is we're trying to get community partners to help us with that, to help us identify challenges, because maybe it's housing, maybe it's a lack of food, maybe other outside challenges that are contributing to this. So we're trying to get some other groups involved with this.
This would cover 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. Fridays and Saturdays.
Coming up, no thanks to tanks.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:05.
Why do we have so many successful long-term clients that started out with less than half of what they now invest in advertising? How are we able to keep our clients on the air 52 weeks a year with great weekly repetition, in some cases for over 15 years straight? Well, it's because our volume gets us access to rates that business owners can't get on their own. It's because repetition works, our buying style is efficient, and our messages sell. Go to Anderson-Smith.com because we help small business advertisers get better results. The arena we work in is where the rubber meets the road. If we don't get results, we're gone. Because with small business advertisers, any ad dollar spent counts. How many agencies can say they've kept small, locally owned businesses advertising 52 weeks a year for over a decade straight? How many have made shoestring budgets grow by over 1,000%? We can, because we get results. Go to Anderson-Smith.com, hit the Contact Us button, email me, and I'll call you in short order. Because it's time we grew your business.
Turn your tax refund into a new roof with Menards. Make this the year you check that project off the list. Atlas Roofing provides the best value in architectural shingles. Atlas shingles feature a limited lifetime warranty and wind resistance up to 130 miles per hour. Plus, their super wide design saves on installation time. Visit us in store or on Menards.com and get a free estimate fast on your shingle project with our easy to use design program.
Save big money at Menards. The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. One day after a major 14-run outburst for the Brewers, they now have the day off ahead of Game 2 of their series against the White Sox tomorrow.
Finding different ways to score runs, and we did that with walks, hits, homers, doubles, whatever. Just finding ways to score runs in different ways other than just one thing. So that's kind of part of our game.
That's Brewers second baseman Bryce Terang, who had himself a day on Thursday, going 2 for 4 with a double. Chad Patrick on the bump for the Brewers Saturday night in Game 2. 3 Big Ten teams advancing to the Elite Eight of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Purdue, Iowa, and Illinois could be joined by Michigan and Michigan State, pending results of tonight's action. And the NBA considering 3 separate anti-tanking proposals that could involve playoff teams being a part of the NBA's draft lottery. This all according to ESPN.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time 3:08.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors in Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation. This week, we're talking turkey with the Wisconsin DNR warden. How about some Great Lakes fishing? It's that time of year. How about those charters? And Wisconsin Waterfowl Association. WTMJ Outdoors, it's for the birds.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Hi, this is Brittany from the Neal Group with today's tax tip. If you bought a new vehicle in 2025, you may be able to write off the interest on the loan up to $10,000. The vehicle must be used primarily for personal use and not business use. It must have been assembled in the United States, and you must provide the make, model, and VIN number, as well as the loan origination date. The deduction is subject to a phase-out based on total income. This deduction is available even if you take the standard deduction. For more tips, or if you have questions, visit nealgroup.net or call 414-325-2040. That's nealgroup.net.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, Julia Fellow and Adam Roberts.
As we come on the air, President Donald Trump says he has signed an executive order to pay TSA agents. All the Department of Homeland Security remains shut down. We have with us, coming up in about 6 minutes from now, Ben Siegel, ABC News Deputy Political Director, who's joining us from Washington, D.C. But first,
this is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
First, Julia, we start here in southeast Wisconsin. A serious incident today that ultimately turned into nothing, but certainly sounded to be a very big situation. This in Racine County this morning.
Very close, they have control pipe bombs. They have hostages, 3 of them, and 1 is dead. Looks like there was a bunch of voices in the background. One saying they want to go home, and there was some screaming heard in the background.
So that's our police scanner audio out of Racine County. Very serious sounding. Like an individual claiming there were explosives near Highway 11 and 99th Street in Sturtevant. Firearms, 3 people dead, and that hostages were all being held. Ultimately, this was determined to not be a thing at all. A false report, a swatting incident, which we have talked about before. Just to give you an idea of how many resources were called out, because the calling card always is, these are very serious matters, swatting, that take critical resources away from being on the job for actual problems. You have the sheriff's office, multiple police departments, state patrol, DNR. Ascension had activated their mass casualty protocols, as did Aurora here in southeast Wisconsin, all for something that ended up being a scam. It was absolutely nothing. The sheriff's office in Racine County is now searching for any possible leads on who could have made the call. If we get any updates, we will, of course, let you know. Number 2, staying in our region, heading to Washington County, where county board supervisors are now saying no way to Charlie Kirk Way. You may recall this story from earlier this month. We reported on plans to rename a portion of County Highway K in Washington County after late political activist Charlie Kirk. Well, now those plans appear to be done. Does not appear they'll be moving forward. A statement put out from the county board chair Jeffrey Schlief earlier today says new information indicates the anticipated cost, which we had previously reported was $50,000 for signs that would go along the road. They projected the cost would be, quote, substantially higher than that. What that actual cost is, I did ask, did not hear back, so I am not sure. But substantially higher than $50,000 is interesting when already the main calling card against this was that was already a very high cost. Washington County, one of several governmental bodies across the nation that have either considered or enacted their own plans to rename roads after Kirk. But in Washington County, that is not moving forward.
And number 3, a huge win opening day yesterday. The Brewers taking over the White Sox 14-2. Pitcher Jacob Misiorowski recorded 11 strikeouts, a record for Brewers opening day, overpowering hitters with high-velocity fastballs, mixed breaking pitches to keep batters off balance. And our producer, Nate Rilling, put this together.
Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Fastball at 101. He just blew it right past Benintendi. And after the solo home run, Misiorowski responds by striking out the next 3 White Sox.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Blew him away. And a strikeout.
Misiorowski looks in. Long hold, and now the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Fastball tied up Vargas. Strikeout number 9 for Jacob Misiorowski.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
The 0-2 pitch. Pereira. Swing and a miss. Curveball biting down and away.
Misiorowski, the pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Blew a fastball by him at 99 for his 11th strikeout of the afternoon.
Now the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Elevated fastball. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, Andrew Benintendi. 3 pitches. Take a seat.
Lake Geneva is the Midwest's premier golf destination, featuring breathtaking views, crystal clear lakes, and rolling fairways. Treat yourself to an all-inclusive golf getaway with courses designed for all skill levels, luxurious lodging, distinctive dining, and a relaxing spa. Plan a Lake Geneva group golf outing, a corporate event, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. Their pros will help you plan a memorable golf experience. For info on courses and more, visit lakegeneva.com today. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for legendary golf.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. Hey, I just posted on my social media every step of my BBL laser treatment. Broadband light, taking care of all those fine lines. There was a red dot on my cheek, and now it's zapped and gone. It is the next level facial. No downtime, no redness. And I got on a plane the very next day. Sweet Talks in Menominee Falls offers injectables, advanced skin treatments, and wellness services. I actually just had a wellness visit with nurse practitioner Angie last week. She's getting me started on NAD injections. It's a key ingredient for your body to boost cellular energy, enhance mental clarity, and support anti-aging. She'll go through everything with you, like she did with me, down to checking your food allergies. I had no idea the amount of inflammation I had that was stemming from how my body reacts to dairy and other foods, including almonds. Their staff is so professional and knowledgeable. They have a light pink ambiance to die for. Book your experience like I did at sweettalks.com. Start your journey at sweettalks.com.
This message reaches 1 million people or more every week. Spreading the gospel is more than one voice speaking to 1 million. It is and must continue to be 1 million voices, each speaking to one, pointing them to our friend Jesus.
The Lutheran Hour with Dr. Michael Ziegler.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Sewer Ninjas, and Accurate Basement Repair. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Traffic is sponsored by Burghardt Sporting Goods, the Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center. Burghardt Sporting Goods. Visit them today in New Berlin.
It's happening tonight. Thanasis Live, Thanasis Antetokounmpo and surprise guests. And you are invited to enjoy the biggest nights in Wisconsin sports. We don't want anyone to miss out. You buy one ticket tonight, ESPN Wisconsin is going to buy the other. TALiveshow.com. TALiveshow.com is where you get the tickets. Enter the code ESPNWYBOGO. That's ESPNWYBOGO. Buy one, get one. When you check out, ESPNWYBOGO. Thanasis Live tonight. Let's go to your road with your Debbie Lazaga. Welcome back, Deb.
Thanks. Things are moving along okay now. We did have an accident on the ramp from westbound 894 to northbound 894 in the Hale interchange. That has now been cleared out of the way. Residual delays are left over, though, from 27th Street all the way into the Hale interchange. Southbound 894 is backed up from Beloit Road pretty much all the way to 68th Street, so careful with that. Eastbound 94 backing up from just past 68th all the way to 35th. Westbound from 27th Street to Hawley Road. And southbound 43, going to be a slow one from Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Here is your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 25. Tomorrow, sunny, then it becomes mostly cloudy, a high of 46. Sunday, sunny, a high of 60 degrees. Monday, sunny, a high of 57. Tuesday, a chance of rainstorms, mostly sunny, a high of 67. Right now, Milwaukee, it's mostly cloudy and 38 degrees. The WTMJ 5-day forecast is brought to you by Infinity Exteriors, your local experts for roofing, siding, and window projects. 3:18 on WTMJ. So this just in, the President of the United States says he just signed an executive action to pay TSA workers. We have with us Ben Siegel, ABC News Deputy Political Director. Ben, can you get us up to date on the very latest? Can this stick?
Well, it's going to stick for the short term. The president has signed an order directing the TSA workers get paid after they've missed more than 3 weeks of pay during this partial government shutdown. But this is a Band-Aid. This is not a fix for this bigger funding freeze. But it may be enough to get them through at least the next 2 weeks. That's how long Congress is set to be on recess for the Easter holiday. And they started leaving town today without an agreement. The Senate, Republicans there are at odds with the House and Democrats and Republicans there. So in some ways, both sides are further apart than they were earlier this week in resolving this underlying problem. But the president's action today will hopefully bring some relief to those TSA workers in the short term.
As far as that bill goes, that the senators agreed on that voice vote early this morning, the House Speaker calling it, quote, a joke. With the Trump executive order now, does that essentially mean this bill, or at least the one that made it through the Senate, is for all intents and purposes dead?
Well, it's dead because Speaker Johnson won't bring it to the floor. I think that is the point, too. The Speaker, the big picture with the House is that the majority for Republicans is so thin, any 2 or 3 members can really cause a commotion and block the floor for Republicans. So what we've seen play out today is exactly that. You have a bunch of hard-right Republicans who have demanded changes to voting laws, elements of what the president has pushed forward with the Save America Act, the sweeping changes to voting law ahead of the midterms. They're upset that that's not included. They're upset that, the bill sent over from the Senate does not include funding for immigration enforcement. Johnson has to reflect his conference because he doesn't want to do anything with Democratic votes. The dynamics of the Republicans, as we know, are turbulent at best. They already threw out one speaker this session of Congress, and he's, every day it seems like he's in a different battle for his survival. So, he is not bringing it to the floor because he does not want to get on the wrong side of his caucus. But in the meantime, it functionally means what the Senate passed over is not going to fly as long as that remains the dynamic in the House.
ABC's Ben Siegel is with us. Now, as we look in the short term, even if this executive order goes through, TSA agents and workers start to get paid, Ben, That does not mean that in the short term, what we've seen at airports is suddenly going to overnight just disappear. Just today, even at a place like Milwaukee Mitchell, lines were forming, and we've seen what's happened across the country. This is not a quick fix to that.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that people who start to get paid on Monday will return to work 100% all of a sudden, at 9 a.m., 6 a.m. Monday. I find that hard to believe that'll happen. I think the best case scenario and what people in Washington are hoping for is that there is enough money now being diverted to their paychecks where, over the course of several days, once they start getting their back pay, people will start coming back to work because they don't have to take other jobs. They don't have to worry about affording childcare because they'll get their paychecks. But that might be something that takes place over the course of several days. So it'll be something to watch next week, how quickly that's felt in places like Mitchell, in places like Reagan Airport in Washington, and around the country.
We have ABC News Deputy Political Director Ben Siegel on the Talk and Text line with us. Ben, is there a chance that this could be overturned over the weekend and all the TSA workers who are breathing a sigh of relief once we get to Monday could get paid, that this could be overturned?
I think that's possible too. I mean, the challenge with the president doing something like this is that it's probably not legal. I mean, the soundest way to get money approved in Washington is to go through Congress with the power of the purse. The president is clearly going around that, as he has several times throughout his term when he is at odds with Congress. So the question is, I think, does this hold up? Does anybody with standing challenge this in court for any reason? I'm not sure who would do that, but theoretically, that could be something that's done. So clearly, the president is not on the firmest of ground here. The firmest ground would be Congress sending him something to sign into law. But now that the Senate has left and the House might leave soon after they vote on their version of this bill that they're putting forward, we might not see them again for 2 weeks. So the big question will be how many TSA workers can get paid through the president's maneuver, and how long will this money last? I think those are the two biggest questions going forward.
He is ABC News Deputy Political Director Ben Siegel. Ben, thank you so much.
Thanks.
It's 3:24 on WTMJ. Let's head over to the markets now. Your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. We ended trading yesterday with the NASDAQ in correction territory as they were down around 2%. And it was another very bad day for all three of the majors. The NASDAQ, once again, the biggest loser, off more than 2% again today, down 460 points at 20,948. Meanwhile, the Dow was off nearly 800 points itself, and so joins the NASDAQ now in that correction territory, sitting at 45,167 heading into the weekend. And the S&P 500, another big loser today, off 108 points at 6,369. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. More details at annexwealth.com.
Shag carpet, avocado appliances, no frills backyards. A lot has changed. For 100 years, the Realtors Home and Garden Show, presented by Unilock, has showcased what's next, helping homeowners and gardeners rethink the way they live, indoors and out. This year's 100th annual show is packed with ideas for today, from smart homes to outdoor living spaces. Join us March 20th through 29th at State Fair Park. Buy tickets at mkehgs.com.
Hey everybody, Debbie Lazaga here for Milwaukee Weight Loss. Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? Well, at Milwaukee Weight Loss, they know the secret. Their doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally, and safely with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Their program helps reset your metabolism. That's what got me. I needed my metabolism reset so that I could keep the weight off for good. And I also got a coach for ongoing support. Accountability, my friends. That's what I needed. Their program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation. I loved it. I'm down about 20 pounds right now, and I'm into the maintenance phase. Let's see how long I can keep this. But, you know, many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's about a pound per day. And for limited time, you get $200 off with their spring special. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Load up and cash in at our Buy More, Earn More event this week at Fleet Farm. From March 23rd through the 29th, all Fleet Rewards members will earn bonus rewards on qualifying purchases for the whole family. Earn $10 when you spend $100, earn $25 when you spend $200, and earn $50 in rewards when you spend $350. Membership's free. Sign up in-store or online. And remember, the bigger the haul, the more you earn. So stock up now at Fleet Farm's Buy More, Earn More event. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news? A rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS created by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $150,000 in taxes, because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a plan, clarity, and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it, we help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait, call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Your financial life is not just about numbers. It is a journey, and Annex Wealth Management aims to help you move through it with clarity. When markets shift, it can be hard to understand what it means for what you have built. Annex offers guidance as a fee-only fiduciary firm, which means their recommendations are built around your best interests rather than commissions or product sales. Annex gives you access to a local team that includes wealth managers, financial planners, investment managers, estate planning attorneys, and client service specialists who work together to create a strategy tailored to your situation. They help clients with investment management, retirement income, planning, tax coordination, estate planning, education funding, and business succession strategies. Annex knows there's different financial plans for different stages of life, and they can help you adjust as things change. With nationwide accessibility, Annex blends personal attention with leading-edge tools to offer an experience built around informed decision-making. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
Hi, it's David Nason from The Fix-It Show on WTMJ. Every Saturday morning, we talk about keeping your home in top shape. One issue I hear all the time, wet basements and foundation problems.
And that's where Accurate Basement Repair comes in. I'm Chris Mancuso, and for over 20 years, we've been The Fix-It Show's trusted experts in foundation repair and waterproofing.
Don't wait until the problem gets worse. Visit AccurateBasementRepair.com.
Accurate Basement Repair.
We're not just good, we're accurate. Catch Accurate Basement Repair on The Fix-It Show and WTMJ.com.
You've seen the photos, but nothing compares to being there. In 2026, trade your screen for the real thing, the quiet ripple of the Rhine from an Avalon Waterways suite, or the storied streets of Italy with Globus. At Fox World Travel, we handle every detail so you can focus on the moment, not the logistics. Stop dreaming about the world and start walking through it. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com to plan your 2026 journey today.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Tayback Law fights for those who fought for us. If you're a vet and have been wrongfully denied the VA benefits you're entitled to, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It is 3:30. I'm Julia Fellow. Your top story, a top official's email hacked by Iran.
I'm Adam Roberts. Tiger in unknown condition after a crash.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. 894 southbound at Oklahoma Avenue. Left lane is blocked with a crash. Now we got backup stretching all the way back into the Zoo interchange. Give yourself plenty of time to get through that area. Eastbound 94, we've got backups then from about 70th Street all the way through to 35th. The westbound side is going to be slow from 25th Street all the way to Hawley Road. Northbound 41 backing up from Swan Boulevard all the way up past Burleigh. The southbound side has a couple of pockets of heavy traffic from Hampton pretty much down to Capitol. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Clear skies and chilly tonight. A low down to 24. Sunny for your your Saturday might hit 50 depending where you're at in the area. Right now, clouds and 38 in Milwaukee at 331.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, President Donald Trump has signed an executive order to pay TSA agents while the Department of Homeland Security remains shut down. CBS Linda Kenyon.
The president has signed an executive order to pay TSA agents with other funds now that Congress has failed to agree on funding the entire Department of Homeland Security. The White House invoked a national emergency to pay the TSA agents in an approach that could create some legal challenges. The Senate had passed a bill to fund all of the Department of Homeland Security except ICE and Border Patrol, but the House did not agree. The impasse, led by Democratic demands to change the way ICE agents operate, followed the ICE-related shooting deaths of 2 Americans in Minneapolis. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
A group linked to Iran now taking responsibility for hacking into FBI Director Kash Patel's personal emails. CBS's Sarah Lynch.
The group that is taking responsibility for the intrusion into his email is a group called the Handala Hacking Group, which is connected to Iran. Now, earlier this month, the Justice Department actually seized several domains that were connected with this group and had told the public that they believed this group was behind several other high-profile incidents targeting, among others, Israeli government officials.
The group posted several personal photographs of Patel as well as hundreds of emails he had sent between 2010 and 2019.
This just into our newsroom. Tiger Woods was involved in what Florida sheriff's offices say was a rollover crash in Jupiter Island, Florida, and it just happened this afternoon. The report is that his condition is not immediately clear. There's a news conference that's scheduled to happen within the next half hour. The outlet also reported that the crash took place after 2 o'clock, and they saw in the scene video a vehicle on its side. Woods representatives have not immediately responded to requests for comment. The 50-year-old sports icon, who's a 5-time major champion, has made his return to golf this past week in the TGL Finals. He previously sustained injuries in another rollover crash in California back in 2021.
Back at home, a man from Waukesha now facing charges after a police chase and shootout.
32-year-old Joseph Fliss is accused of crashing his vehicle at over 100 miles an hour while intoxicated, then shooting at Brookfield Police back in January. Surveillance video from the week before the shootout allegedly captured Fliss randomly shooting at Waukesha homes, some of which had children playing outside. Fliss faces 2 counts of first-degree attempted homicide. His bail is set for over $1 million. He's back in court Tuesday. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Another round of No Kings protests taking place this weekend across our state and nation.
We don't like what's happening, and we need to do something. And if this is all I can do, this is all I can do. I have to do something.
Find something you can do. Call your representatives. Just be active and use your voice.
The protests are against President Donald Trump's policies. Previous demonstrations have drawn large crowds, shutting down highways in some major cities. Dozens of protesters are expected to be in Wisconsin on Saturday, tomorrow, including Milwaukee, Madison, and Green Bay.
A grocery store on Milwaukee's northwest side shutting down for the second time this month for a health violation. This is the Century Foods near Lisbon and Burleigh, which was ordered to close after a routine inspection on Wednesday found evidence of pest activity. The health department had ordered a closure earlier this month for the same reason. The health department's inspection team typically issues up to 300 temporary closures every year.
Our city was just chosen as one of the 5 cities to participate in America's 250th birthday party. America 250, a nonpartisan Congress-backed commission, is hosting a nationwide block party to celebrate the 4th of July. The last day of Summerfest will feature patriotic tributes, including performances from Jelly Roll and Sam Barber. The other 4 chosen cities include Charleston, Fort Campbell, New York, Los Angeles, which will each feature their own unique event.
Off day today for the Crew, and now that baseball season is underway, fans heading to American Family Field this weekend and throughout the season will need to do a little bit more planning.
Worried about getting to the Brewers games this season? Fear not. The Brewers and the DOT have you covered with the route planning resource tied to the parking lots.
The Brewers website does have a specific spot for best routes heading to and leaving the stadium.
The DOT's Eric Hansen says it'll make things so much easier for you in light of the new I-94 mega project traffic patterns.
Takes into account the area that the fans are coming from and the parking lot they're going to.
You can get more details at WTMJ.com. Debbie Loziga, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Brewers have the day off today after they put 14 on the White Sox Thursday to open up the season. Game 2 tomorrow night at American Family Field. It'll be Chad Patrick on the hill for the Crew. The big NCAA men's basketball tournament continues this evening. 3 Big Ten teams have already advanced to the Elite Eight, with 2 more possibly at the end of tonight's action. And the Bucks have the night off tonight. They're back at it Saturday at Fiserv Forum. They'll get Wemby and the Spurs.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time 3:37. Your WTMJ 5-day forecast is brought to you by Infinity Exteriors, your local experts for roofing, siding, and window projects.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
A new deck from Outdoor Living Unlimited is built to last. We are Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech deck installation team. For amazing ideas, go to Outdoor Living Unlimited's Instagram page. For a free estimate, go to OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at AmazonBusiness.com.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
3:38 on WTMJ. Microsoft's data center in Mount Pleasant, well underway, a more than $3 billion investment, expanding rapidly. The project is undergoing a major expansion that could add 15 new data centers. They're expected to complete their first major campus by the end of this year. But as they're about to start their second data center campus, neighbors say they're hearing a loud hum. Channel 12's investigative reporter Emily Fofal has this.
It's just a high-pitched drone sound.
I can hear it inside my house.
In a statement to 12 News, a Microsoft spokesperson says they're aware of the noise concerns raised about their Mount Pleasant facility, and they're investigating the root cause and hope to share an update soon. Microsoft on its website lists 4 main reasons for data center noise: servers, vehicles, backup generators, and cooling equipment.
You can see exactly what it is. There's nearly 100 massive industrial cooling towers at them, fiberglass reinforced plastic fan stacks. So they act as heat exchangers, cooling water through evaporation for industrial process or a large HVAC system. If you ever played The Sims and you copy and pasted the same thing over and over again, it looks like that on the roof. It looks like a huge industrial fan, almost 100 of them. What do you think that's going to do? So, and then you're going to times that by 12 or more. It's going to be really loud. I've heard of other states that have had the same issue.
Yeah.
And it's been driving some of the neighbors nuts. But, didn't we know that was going to happen? You need to cool. Think of how loud your laptop gets. One time I thought mine was going to explode one day. Do you remember that?
I do remember, and I had mine just the other day was I just happened to put my hand underneath and went, wow, that's surprisingly warm. And then, you think about that, but at nth scale for these data centers. And this is just a bigger story as we follow along with all this construction of the unintended and unexpected consequences that come when you have these giant projects. Look no further than just up I-43 in Port Washington, where they themselves are also dealing with construction noise and all of this other stuff for the Vantage project just north of the community. And it ultimately resulted last week in the city after numerous complaints. And some of these city hall meetings in Port Washington have been extra contentious this year. The city last week did vote unanimously to limit hours for outdoor construction work. It had been allowed to go on 24 hours, completely unabated, even in the middle of the night. Now it'll only be allowed to run from 6 in the morning until 8 p.m. This after residents, as I mentioned, have gone to City Hall meetings for months to voice their complaints.
I'm standing here telling you that the 24-hour construction is hellish.
and I want you to please make it stop.
People live here, children sleep here, families breathe the air every day. Our health and quality of life should matter, yet right now it feels like they don't.
Those are two residents at a meeting in February. Interesting note here. So Ted Knightsky is the mayor in Port Washington, who earlier this year had faced a recall effort over transparency related to the Vantage project. He said at the vote to end the 24-hour work that it was always meant to be temporary. But the vote acknowledged that the whole reason they were voting was in part due to neighbors' complaints. So while he says it was meant to be temporary, the only reason they voted on it at all, by their own admission, was because of how many complaints they'd received. And just speaking personally, I've driven by I-43 in Port Washington, right around where it curves up and goes to the north several times after sunset, because it's winter in Wisconsin. That's not hard to do. And the lights and the brightness from that site, just objectively, it's incredibly bright, especially in the very rural areas that these data centers are usually being built. There's not a lot of other light pollution out in the country, and so it sticks out. And I see little community farms that are dotting this area with all of these bright LED lights shining with nothing to guard them up at all. And you do feel for all the people who they moved into those farms well before this was ever a planned thing, and now you're dealing with those consequences.
And also, when you think about 24-hour construction, 7 days a week, 365, who's paying for that? These AI data centers are making bank if they can afford that.
A lot of cash.
I know, and it's loud. It's 3:43 on WTMJ. We're talking about more energy shocks. U.S. inflation to surge to 4.2%. That's the projections. We talked to a financial strategist and policy expert next.
Hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, cold plunge. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Sale is happening at the Realtors Home and Garden Show inside the Exposition Center at Wisconsin State Fair Park. For a limited time, you can save thousands with factory direct pricing and special show discounts. Shop floor models, brand new inventory, and exclusive show-only deals you won't find anywhere else. Don't miss the Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Sale, March 20th through the 29th, only at Wisconsin State Fair Park. Come see it, try it, and save big at the show.
Politics, work, daily stressors. Let's take a break from all that and get centered, Christ-centered. I'm Pastor Tim Butker. Join me each week for Christian Crusaders, a broadcast that highlights the gospel, the good news of Jesus, and our belief in the authoritative Word of God. Christ-centered, gospel-oriented, Bible-based, Christian Crusaders. Please join us Sundays at 6 a.m. on WTMJ. We'd love to have you worship with us.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-979-3535. That's 800-979-3535. 800-979-3535.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Inspired Closets, something that can positively affect your mood, getting organized and clearing out the clutter. A well-rounded closet could be the most powerful room in your home. Inspired Closets can transform your closets or laundry room, your pantry, any space in your house. What separates Inspired Closets from the others? Their 3D design software and a culture that promises to build what you want and need. Call my friends Katie and Dan today, a wife-husband team ready to help. Inspired Days start in Inspired Closets. InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on March 31st.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Tampa Bay Rays.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in March 31st at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee or check your local listings to watch the game.
Traffic is sponsored by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Whatever the weather, visit WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. Visit Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center today for another two-man scramble tournament. Play at Georgia Golf Club on spacious, state-of-the-art simulators unlike any other. Must play in March. Cash prizes only. No green jackets.
346 on WTMJ. Let's get a look at the roads. Debbie Lazaga, how are we shaking?
We got some trouble on 894 southbound, right about at Oklahoma Avenue. The left lane is blocked with a crash, and that is backing things up back through the zoo interchange all the way up to Watertown Plank Road. Yeah, so it's a bit of a tough ride through there. Might want to use Highway 100, although that will back up anyway because it has stop-and-go lights, so just be extra careful. On the northbound side, we've got backups from just before Mayfair Road all the way up past Burleigh. Southbound 43, watch for delays from just before Keefe all the way down through the Marquette. Northbound's a little bit tight from North Avenue all the way up towards Burleigh there. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast going to be clear and cold tonight with a low down into the upper 20s. Looking ahead to tomorrow, your Saturday mostly sunny, a high around 50, warming up to 64 on Sunday. Some of us inland could get into the 70s again on Monday. There is a chance for some rain late in the day, upper 60s if you're lakeside. Then 70s for all on Tuesday, but it does come with the shower and thunderstorm caveat. Right now we've got clouds and 38 degrees in Milwaukee, coming up on 348.
And your 5-day forecast is brought to you by Infinity Exteriors. The crisis in the Middle East may fuel a surge in inflation. Some forecast that it will be 4.2% this year, with the cost of the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran. We have on the talk and text line with us Steve Cotton. He's a financial strategist and policy expert and president of Cotton Wealth Management. Steve, thank you for joining us.
Well, good afternoon. Glad to be here.
I appreciate it. Can you tell me what exactly do you think could be affected by the 4.2% immediately?
Well, that's a speculative estimate, and I think the analysts that are putting that out in the Brookings Institution are assuming that the inflationary impact of the war in the Middle East will be much longer than it may in fact be. I've seen other studies from other reputable institutions that say that oil prices would have to be elevated for a period of about 90 days effectively before it would really ripple through the American economy. Our problem is not one of supply, it's the problem of temporary global price spikes because of constrained traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. I think that's going to be resolved more quickly than people think, and I think one of the things that President Trump is doing is putting pieces in place where we can put continued pressure on the Iranians to stop interdicting traffic.
One of the things a lot of people have pointed to is this price of oil. There's been a lot of how high will it get? Can you explain, Steve, when we talk about $175 a barrel for oil, what exactly that means and some of the inner workings of how we get those numbers?
Well, that's a great question. We have not seen oil prices that high in quite a long time. I think the highest it's been recently is about $110, $120 a barrel, but then it dropped right back down. I don't think this administration or the Western allies are going to allow this thing to be prolonged or going to allow obstruction of the Strait of Hormuz much longer. None of the economies in the West can stand $175 a barrel oil, nor can the Chinese and the Indian customers. And China and India and Asia get 80% of their oil from the Middle East through the Strait of Hormuz. So I believe there's all kinds of pressure that's being brought to bear to get this resolved and release the constraints that they're presently seeing. Right, one of the problems right now is that the insurance companies, Lloyd's of London and others, will not insure tankers transiting the Strait of Hormuz because of the perception of military risk, not necessarily the reality. So I think the insurance companies are as much to blame for this obstruction, for those oil price spikes, as the war is.
So, what I heard from the New York Times is that the Trump administration said that they would promise to cover any tankers that may be affected and just to go through the Strait of Hormuz. Is that what you've heard?
That's correct. I think President Trump is trying to do what he can to reassure the oil markets, to reassure the insurance companies, to reassure the tankers of all nations that we are not going to allow obstacles in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, one of the issues I'll tell you that the military have to be concerned about is whether the Iranians have placed deep seabed mines in that strait, mines that would explode as a ship passes over or would be released from the bottom and come up and hit the ship. But a lot of Iran's transiting tankers go through that very same strait. So an Iranian tanker could get hit just as easily as a Panamanian or a Chinese tanker. So the technical challenge of the mining issue is now more important even than the drones and the occasional missile. But I really don't think this is going to last another 3 months. I believe we're going to see a reduction in these oil prices sooner than people realize.
Financial strategist and policy expert Steve Cotton with us on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Steve, a lot of our conversation, particularly when it pertains to the Middle East, is always going to be around oil and natural gas and how tensions impact our economy based on those resources. Does it bother you that oil and natural gas still really controls the flow of the global economy? But at the same time, we see things like on Monday where the Trump administration paid out $1 billion to Total Energies to walk away from U.S. offshore wind development. So it seems like where there could be opportunities for major alternative energy sources, these things just seem to get shot down again and again.
Well, I'm kind of an all-of-the-above guy when it comes to sources of energy. The problem with wind and solar is it's spotty. It is not consistent. It is not steady. I think it's important to have those to supplement, but really our economies and the economies of the West, at least at our present state of technical development, are still heavily hydrocarbon centered. And we have clean coal. We have very clean gas. Natural gas is very clean and non-polluting. And nuclear, people are relooking at nuclear, assuming we can address the safety issues, which we have addressed technically. And I think an all of the above approach is what the West is going to go to. Now, we've got situations like Germany where they've moved away from nuclear and they've moved away from coal, and they started importing greater levels of Russian oil, and they're now reversing that. They realize that's a self-destructive policy, and they now reverse that. And I think you're going to see that elsewhere in Europe. But we're kind of hooked on petroleum for a while, and as much as I'm in favor of green energy where it can supplement, it is not a substitute for hardcore oil, coal, and natural gas and nuclear.
So I'm taking a look at the Dow. It tumbled almost 800 points, and it enters a possible correction. S&P 500 posts its fifth straight losing week with all of these live updates. Do you think affordability would be a key issue in this year's elections?
Well, I think it will be. This is kind of a glass half full, glass half empty issue. If you remember the 9% inflation of the Biden years, the Trump administration has significantly lowered the cost of energy up until this recent Iran crisis, significantly lowered the cost of gas, energy, has attacked healthcare and drug costs, has tried to make those prices lower by deals with the drug companies. Trump has put pressure on the Fed to lower interest rates, which in turn has an indirect impact on 30-year mortgage interest rates. The Trump administration has done all kinds of things to reduce regulation, to lower the cost of automobiles. There's all kinds of things that this administration has tried to do. And so inflation has, ticked down to, at least for a while, it was under 4%. It may tick back up to 4.2 or 0.4, but that's a long way from 9%. Now, if you're going out to the grocery store, or you're paying for child care, or you're looking at your health insurance premiums, you may still feel like things are, you've got an affordability issue. And I think people will look at that, and whether it will hurt the Republicans in the midterms is still debatable, but it's not going to be helpful because people have short memories. And while they remember 9% inflation a few years ago, a very few years ago, it's sort of like, what have you done for me lately? If things are still too expensive, that's not going to help the Republicans.
He is Steve Cotton, financial strategist and president of Cotton Wealth Management Associates. Thank you so much.
Well, you're very welcome.
Here's your business headlines.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Construction is progressing on an air cargo facility at Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. The approximately 333 square foot South Cargo Logistics Hub is expected to be completed this fall. An 8-unit apartment building in Waukesha sells to a missionary training nonprofit. Global Assist Campus Inc. purchased the multifamily property, which will serve as student housing for Ethnos 360's Bible Institute for $1.9 million. Ice's Ice Cream joined Zocalo Food Park permanently in April. The business appeared as a pop-up at Zocalo starting in late 2024. I'm Logan Hansen from MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Your financial life is not just about numbers. It is a journey, and Annex Wealth Management aims to help you move through it with clarity. When markets shift, it can be hard to understand what it means for what you have built. Annex offers guidance as a fee-only fiduciary firm, which means their recommendations are built around your best interests rather than commissions or product sales. Annex gives you access to a local team that includes wealth managers, financial planners, investment managers, estate planning attorneys, and client service specialists who work together to create a strategy tailored to your situation. They help clients with investment management, retirement income, planning, tax coordination, estate planning, education funding, and business succession strategies. Annex knows there's different financial plans for different stages of life, and they can help you adjust as things change. With nationwide accessibility, Annex blends personal attention with leading-edge tools to offer an experience built around informed decision-making. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
John Mercure here for Connect Chiropractic. Life today can keep us stuck in stress mode. Headaches, poor sleep, constant tension, feeling worn down. At Connect Chiropractic, the focus isn't just masking symptoms, it's finding the root cause, helping your nervous system function the way it was designed so your body can heal, adapt, and perform at its best. If you deal with headaches, sleep struggles, or neck and back pain from long days at a desk, take a closer look. Start with a first visit at Connect Chiropractic. It includes advanced scans, digital x-rays, helping uncover what's really going on. Connect Chiropractic. Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris sit down with Thanasis Antetokounmpo. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, on the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests. That's WTMJ.com/contests. Transform your home today. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
I'm Julia Fellow. Your top story, a paycheck on the way for TSA workers.
I'm Adam Roberts. A truck crashing through a Milwaukee coffee shop.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Big troubles on 41 southbound starting at about Mayfair Road all the way down through the Zoo interchange to Oklahoma Avenue, where there is a crash with a lane block. That would be the left lane block, so watch out for that. We also have a crash on 43 heading southbound right about at the ramp from 9th Street. The right lane is blocked there, and then we've got delays that just basically continue all the way down through the Marquette interchange, so give yourself that extra time. Northbound slowing down from just south of Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Locust. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 25 degrees. Tomorrow it's really sunny, then it becomes cloudy, a high of 46. Right now in Milwaukee, it's mostly cloudy and 38 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, President Donald Trump has signed an executive order to pay TSA agents while the Department of Homeland Security is shut down. CBS Linda Kenyon.
The president has signed an executive order to pay TSA agents with other funds now that Congress has failed to agree on funding the entire Department of Homeland Security. The White House invoked a national emergency to pay the TSA agents in an approach that could create some legal challenges. The Senate had passed a bill to fund all of the Department of Homeland Security except ICE and Border Patrol, but the House did not agree. The impasse, led by Democratic demands to change the way ICE agents operate, followed the ICE-related shooting deaths of 2 Americans in Minneapolis. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
The executive order comes as lines continue to build up at airports across the country. CBS News Baltimore reporter Caroline Forbeck at BWI.
I don't know if we're going to make our flight or not.
Friday morning was a first for many passengers at BWI.
Never had to wait outside before.
Airport officials warned of long wait times at security checkpoints early Friday amid the spring break travel rush and the partial government shutdown affecting TSA officers. Even passengers with clear or pre-check had to wait outside.
The actual regular line is super long. Thankfully that we have clear. But I was not expecting the clear line to be like this at all.
As of Friday, TSA officers have gone 42 days without pay.
TSA workers could start receiving pay as soon as Monday.
Let's go to this news conference in Florida. Tiger Woods was involved in a rollover crash. We're going to join it in progress.
I know at this time. So just before 2 p.m. today, the Jupiter Island Police Department, which is where we currently are, received a call of a rollover crash about 2.5 miles from where we are. The Jupiter Island Police Department responded out there and found a pickup truck pulling a pressure cleaner trailer and a Land Rover which was rolled over on the driver's door, and we're going to provide you photos of that. The investigation started, and initially right off the top it did appear that the driver of the Land Rover might be impaired, and at that point the Chief Ewing of Jupiter Island Police Department called me from the Martin County Sheriff's Office and asked for our assistance. It wasn't that the Jupiter Island Police Department isn't fully capable of doing these types of investigations, but quite frankly, the Sheriff's Office has a lot more repetitions in these traffic crashes and these types of investigations. Our investigation revealed as follows. Shortly again before 2, the pressure cleaner truck pulling a trailer, a small trailer, was northbound on South Beach Road and was pulling kind of to turn into a driveway. It was slowing down, starting to turn into a driveway, and the driver of that vehicle looked in his mirror and saw a Land Rover, a dark-colored Land Rover, overtaking him at high speeds, and I don't know those speeds. The Land Rover kept overtaking him. He saw it coming, so he tried to edge off to the side of the road, but this is a small 2-lane road, and there was no shoulder for this pressure cleaner gentleman to get off to the side of the road. As he was trying to move to the side of the road, the Land Rover overtook him at the last minute, swerved to avoid a collision, but clipped the back end of the trailer of the pressure cleaner apparatus, listed to the side, and then rolled on the driver's door north past the truck that had just avoided the crash with. The individual driving that Land Rover was able to crawl out the passenger door of the car and was identified to be Mr. Tiger Woods. Our DUI investigators came to the scene here, and Mr. Woods did exemplify signs of impairment. They did several tests on him. Of course, he did explain the injuries and the surgeries that he had. We did take that into account. but they did do some in-depth roadside tests. And when it was determined, he was placed under arrest and taken to the Martin County Jail. At the Martin County Jail, and even on scene, we really weren't suspicious of alcohol being involved in this case, and that proved to be true at the jail. So Mr. Woods did a breathalyzer test, blew triple zeros, but when it came time for us to ask for a urinalysis test, he refused, and so he's been charged with DUI, with property damage, and refusal to submit to a lawful test. In the crash, no one was injured. Mr. Woods did not seem to be injured at all, and the other gentlemen were not injured. But this happened a few hours ago, so I've given you the information that I have right here, right now. So with that, let me kick it to you for questions.
Okay, interesting. So this is the third crash. The last one took place in 2021 involving Tiger Woods. Apparently, just this afternoon, he is accused of rear-ending at a high rate of speed a pressure cleaner truck that was trying to slow down and turn. And he has been arrested for DUI, driving under the influence. That's unfortunate. He failed a roadside test and he blew a 0.0.
Right.
But refused that urinalysis, and there were signs of impairment. That's really, really unfortunate. The 50-year-old sports icon is a 15-time major champion, just made his return to golf on Tuesday, the TGL Finals. We will be right back.
It's springtime, and instead of getting outside and having fun, you have to paint the deck, repair the boards, and discover more rotten wood on your deck. Call Outdoor Living Unlimited to replace the old beaten-down wood deck with a beautiful new composite deck with new railing. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's top TimberTech decking installer and can deliver a design and build your next maintenance-free deck. Stop by our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
3 generations ago, it was about doing one thing and doing it right.
Hardwood, tile, carpet, floors that had to last because our name, Adair, was on them. Over time, homeowners asked us to do more. Kitchens, bathrooms, full remodels. And so our name changed to Adair Floors and Remodeling.
But flooring has always been the foundation, literally.
And it's something the next generation already understands.
Hi, I'm Ava. Hi, I'm Quinn. My dad does floors.
From hardwood and luxury vinyl plank to tile and carpet, we handle selection, layout, and professional installation.
And because we also remodel homes, we know how flooring works with everything else. Transitions, finishes, and long-term durability.
When you hire Adair, you're getting experience you can stand on and people who will be here for decades to come.
Call my dad. Bye-bye.
Adair Floors and Remodeling. Built on flooring, trusted for remodels. 3 generations, 1 standard. Call us at 414-761-3660 for your free flooring estimate.
This report is brought to you by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. Visit sidingunlimited.com.
It's March and Wisconsin's spring is finally here. Time to upgrade your windows that are failing, drafty, foggy, or just flat out unbearable to deal with. At Siding Unlimited, we install beautiful, energy-efficient windows designed to make your home more comfortable and affordable to maintain. Choose the rich, natural look of wood, the stylish and proven vinyl, or the incredible strength and durability of fiberglass, all built to battle every Wisconsin season. New windows installed by Siding Unlimited don't just transform how your home looks, they help lower energy bills, reduce outside noise, and maximize natural light in every room, making your home brighter on sunny days. Trust the local family-operated Siding Unlimited to be the company of choice for your next window project. Proven to be the best by earning Pella's prestigious Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. Call Siding Unlimited at 262-567-4513 or visit sidingunlimited.com today.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, Julia Fellow and Adam Roberts.
If you're just joining us, we just had a live news conference about Tiger Woods. He was just arrested and charged with driving under the influence. You can always stay up to date on what we have if you text WAN. It stands for Wisconsin's Afternoon News to 855-616-1620, or stay tuned on your app or WTMJ.com for the very latest.
411 on WTMJ. Let's bring it back to home now here in southeast Wisconsin. First told you about this story yesterday involving several tenants living in properties owned by landlord David Tomlin, the owner of Highgrove Holdings Management LLC. An announcement made yesterday morning of a major historic lawsuit.
A court to declare the business operations of Highgrove Holdings, how they operate, a nuisance in the city of Milwaukee.
That is City Attorney Evan Goike speaking with nearly 100 Common Ground, which is a group that supports tenants' rights in the city, and Tenants United leaders, and as well people who live in these properties. This was yesterday morning to announce that lawsuit. They're asking a circuit court judge to appoint a third-party receiver to manage Tomlin's properties if a bunch of documented nuisance conditions, hundreds of them, are not abated within the next 2 months. This would basically strip Tomlin of his city portfolio. A massive amount of properties owned by this landlord, most of which are on our city's north side in some of Milwaukee's most impoverished communities. The lawsuit, as I've combed through it these last 2 days, it represents one of the largest public nuisance actions in the city's history, and there have been several actions against problem landlords in Milwaukee for decades. I spoke earlier today with a tenant at a Tomlin property. Her name's Deshawn Harris. She was living in a Tomlin unit until it was sold earlier this month. She shared with me some of the living conditions she's been in her property, including having a bullet fly through her window in July of 2024. She talked with me about about her interaction with Tomlin trying to get that window fixed.
Police report. I gave him the money for my rent and stuff, my money order. So I asked him right then and there that I need my window fixed right away. So he still, he was telling me that he's going to get it done. So I kept calling and calling. I was like, when you going to send somebody out here and replace this window, because flies and bees was coming, I'm trying to keep them out soon as possible. Was 5 months after the fact. He sent someone 2 days before Christmas to come replace the window, and the bullet hole is in the wall.
So the bullet hole still in there, as Deshawn mentioned. She also shared why now is the time she and 3 other tenants have placed themselves onto this suit.
It makes me feel good that I'm not fighting this alone. We're taking back our power and standing up for what's right, and, to get these landlords to be held accounted for the things that they do.
What is today your message to David Tomlin?
My message today to Tomlin, what you put out is what you get back.
That's Deshawn Harris, a tenant at a Tomlin property in the city of Milwaukee. I did also reach out to Mr. Tomlin. He had previously not commented to other media as he was waiting to receive the litigation. He echoed that to me today as well, but did indicate he would be putting out a statement next week at some point. I did ask for some follow-up on some specific accusations from tenants. I did not receive a response to that. That, again, is expected sometime next week from Mr. Tomlin as this lawsuit begins to work its way through the legal system.
That's so interesting. Wow, I'm glad that you were able to speak to a lieutenant or a tenant who is dealing with this landlord. Very interesting.
It's 4:14 on WTMJ. We got roads, your 5-day forecast, and Everyday Hero up next.
Why DIY your frozen pizza toppings when Screamin' Sicilian already went over the top for you? We're talking whole milk mozzarella, heaps of premium meats, a mountain of veggies. Screamin' Sicilian is frozen pizza stacked, no add-ons needed. Mamma mia! Screamin' Sicilian, so loaded with toppings, it's almost cheating. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer section and taste what all the screamin' is about.
Hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, cold plunge. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Sale is happening at the Realtors Home and Garden Show inside the Exposition Center at Wisconsin State Fair Park. For a limited time, you can save thousands with factory direct pricing and special show discounts. Shop floor models, brand new inventory, and exclusive show-only deals you won't find anywhere else. Don't miss the Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Sale, March 20th through the 29th, only at Wisconsin State Fair Park. Come see it, try it, and save big at the show.
Hey, John Mercure here. I love Otto's Wine and Spirits. It makes me smile. Serving Milwaukee since 1945. It's where I buy my wine. It's where I buy my beer. It's where I buy my spirits. It's Otto's Wine and Spirits, employee-owned, friendly staff, 7 locations. They know what they're doing. They've got the best prices at Otto's. They've got the best selection. Open 7 days a week with several locations. Milwaukee, Menominee Falls, which is where I go. Elm Grove, Brown Deer, Cedarburg. It's Otto's Wine and Spirits. They are the real deal. Buy it at Otto's.
More savings for more Club Rewards members. Join today and unlock exclusive deals at your local Tyson's. Every month, members save big on customer favorites and seasonal must-haves, plus earn 1% back on every purchase. This month, enjoy special savings on Country Companion dried mealworms, Misco Greenhouse, Antler King Deer Attractant Blocks, H.K. Anderson Pretzels, and more. Not a member yet? Sign up free at Tysons.com and start saving today. Offers end March 31st, in-store only.
Sponsored by Accunet Mortgage.
Get your rock solid pre-approval or a no-pressure refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Traffic and then weather. Debbie Lazaga, how are the roads?
We've got a backup on 43 southbound. A crash right about at 9th Street has the right lane blocked, and things are stretching back all the way, starting to slow down from around Hampton. Beyond that, though, we do have delays from Locust down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. On westbound 94, we were delayed from about 30th Street to Hawley Road. Eastbound's backed up from 76th Street to about 35th. And then we've got the other accident. It's on 894 southbound at Oklahoma Avenue. The left lane is blocked with this one, and that's got things pretty much backed up all the way to Mayfair Road. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 25. Tomorrow, sunny, then becoming mostly cloudy, a high of 46. Sunday, partly sunny, a high of 60. Monday, mostly sunny, a high of 57. Tuesday, a rainstorm mix, mostly sunny, a high of 67. Right now in Milwaukee, it's mostly cloudy and 38 degrees. 418 on WTMJ. President Donald Trump is facing scrutiny over his refusal to call the U.S. conflict with Iran a war. Here he is just yesterday.
Number one is they want to deflect from all of the tremendous success that we're having in this military operation. I won't use the word war because they say if you use the word war, that's maybe not a good thing to do. They don't like the word war because you're supposed to get approval. So I'll use the word military operation, which is really what it is. It's called a military decimation. But they don't like the good publicity. They don't like to see us succeed. They want to see our country fail.
So again, the reports indicate the president has avoided the term war, in part because it could trigger the need for congressional approval under U.S. law. Critics call the wording misleading, arguing the scale of the conflict already amounts to war. The administration maintains the operation is necessary for national security. Lawmakers on both sides are now questioning the legal and political implications. 419 on WTMJ. Coming up next, your week in review.
Turnover. It's costly, it's frustrating, it's a silent profit killer. Vince Vitrano here for Go Trago Assessment Solutions. Go Trago helps you hire the right people the first time, reducing turnover, cutting hiring costs, and improving sales. Trago TPS predictive assessments identify top performers before they're on your payroll. Auto dealers nationwide are using Trago to operate with turnover rates more than 200% lower than the industry average. Visit GoTrago.com.
Join the Brewers Series against the White Sox March 26th, 28th, and 29th. Grab this year's first giveaway on Saturday the 28th, a replica of American Family Field for the first 25,000 fans, courtesy of American Family Insurance. On the 29th, it's Kids Cheer Free. Buy an adult terrace seat and receive a free ticket for kids ages 14 and under. On Sunday the 29th, the first 5,000 kids get a drip necklace giveaway. Grab your seats at brewers.com/tickets.
At Blaine's, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when you can easily find the trusted farm essentials you need for spring at unbeatable farm and fleet prices? Like $30 off KT Auto Darkening welding helmets, now $69.99. Save $150 on the Hobart Multi-Process Welder. Plus, new at Blaine's, shop Purina Livestock Feed. Science-backed nutrition to help animals stay healthy and productive. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
We'll make your ads potent, memorable, and effective. Whether it's radio, TV, billboards, or digital, our understanding of the market and long-standing relationships are unmatched. Anderson Smith represents a substantial amount of advertising billing, which will benefit you in getting much more for your ad dollar. Our compensation model is designed to make it affordable for businesses like yours to use us. And we hold on to our clients because what we do works, and they trust us. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results. Too many times was I told, just go out there and sell something. Too many times did an advertiser buy just one package only to be disappointed. I'll give it a try, they said. You know, I was just doing my job until I realized that job set a lot of people up for advertising failure. So we started Anderson Smith, and since then, we've retained many clients for over a decade and have been a valuable asset to their business because we're helping them rather than just selling them. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results.
Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at AmazonBusiness.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
422 on WTMJ. A 9th national title for your Badgers, an unlikely murder, baseball season arrives, and more. It is the Weekend Review brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What we do here is go back.
Over 30 people are injured, including 2 in critical condition after a tour bus crashed in Green Bay.
There were 54 people on board at the time of the accident. They were headed from Chicago to a casino in Michigan.
Bob's contributions to the Green Bay Packers will be remembered forever.
My memory will always be him with a cup of coffee, showing up in the office. Are you getting everything you need? And how's Jessica? And I just came from an Irish Catholic wedding, so I'm going to get choked up here. Come on.
There's a big tournament going on in college athletics right now, but it's not on the court. It's in the rink.
And here comes Enright to the net. Walks in. Oh, it's good! Great day for your 9th national championship.
We were watching some of the highlights of it yesterday. My mom looked at me and she goes, maybe Frankie needs to be a hockey player.
The animal rights activists who went to Ridgeland Farms to remove more than 20 beagles say they are going back. Activist and actress Alexander Paul. Where would all of those dogs go if you're successful?
They would go to loving homes, which is something they are not experiencing right now.
Quadruple amputee cornhole champion arrested on suspicion of murder. He's really good at bags.
How?
Crazy. I have no words.
No one does anything by themselves, right? Whether it's MLK, Cesar Chavez.
Now it's about how do we keep the movement moving forward. And especially now in this country, over 97% of all hate crime victims we help right now are actually U.S. citizens.
We're going to be talking about the Ozaukee County coroner who's accused of faking something.
Accusations that Deppich submitted mileage reimbursement requests for trips the investigation says he never took.
Did he think that no one would see? Like, how far is Brookfield from Germantown?
The Hannah Montana 20th anniversary special premieres tonight on Disney Plus and Hulu. I feel like maybe it's appropriate during Women's History Month. TSB says now an emergency vehicle hit by landing a plane at LaGuardia did not have a key piece of safety equipment that could have set off an alert.
We started talking about what it takes to actually report fraud.
We started going to Facebook and seeing some of the company owners posting stacks of cash.
Like, if you know anything about the margins for people who do programs like this, typically not new car worthy.
For the first time, Today Show host Savannah Guthrie sits down for an interview about her mother's abduction.
Someone needs to do the right thing. We are in agony. That she needs to come home now.
Yes. What is the leading cause of death among children?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
That office has had a whole host of changes at its top leadership position, whether it was the Office of Violence Prevention, the Office of Community Wellness and Safety.
This has kind of become a black eye in the city.
Tonight's scheduled debate between state Supreme Court candidates Judge Muriel Azar and Judge Chris Taylor is being postponed. Representatives for Judge Taylor say she's been diagnosed with kidney stones. The debate will now happen on April 2nd. Early voting for the spring race has already started ahead of Election Day on April 7th.
Baseball that counts is finally back.
They are coming in fast and furious. Folks are pouring in for the parking lots.
Opening day always sparks that thought that summer's around the corner, and baseball happens every day, so it's something to do.
Just outside American Family Field, the custom-made grill turned a few heads, and it looks a whole lot like the ballpark itself.
Griddler Park, the roof is inspirational.
First offering to Freelick is a fly ball to right. It is high. It is deep. Bye-bye baseball. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 20 strikeouts as a staff today for the Brewers, highlighted by a franchise record 11 from Jacob Mizorowski.
I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome!
And the Brewers win it 14-2 on opening day over the White Sox.
What a week, eh?
What a week. It's still 2025.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
That is the Weekend Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
It's 426 on WTMJ. Time for the Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Not a great week overall on Wall Street, and yesterday and today kind of emblematic of the whole week. The NASDAQ, another 2% loss today, already in correction territory, and joined today by the Dow, which was off 1.7% itself on the day, and the S&P 500 not too far behind there either, down 108 points, finishing off 1.6%. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
At Grunberg Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
There's no championship league for small business owners, but if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation, one-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo.
Load up and cash in at our Buy More, Earn More event this week at Fleet Farm. From March 23rd through the 29th, all Fleet Rewards members will earn bonus rewards on qualifying purchases for the whole family. Earn $10 when you spend $100, earn $25 when you spend $200, and earn $50 in rewards when you spend $350. Membership's free. Sign up in-store or online. And remember, the bigger the haul, the more you earn. So stock up now at Fleet Farm's Buy More, Earn More event. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on March 31st.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Tampa Bay Rays.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in March 31st at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee or check your local listings to watch the game.
Traffic is sponsored by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Whatever the weather, visit WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. Visit Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center today for another two-man scramble tournament. Play at Georgia Golf Club on spacious, state-of-the-art simulators unlike any other.
Must play in March. Cash prizes only. No green jackets.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It is 4:30. I'm Julia Fellow. Your top story, a golfing legend arrested for DUI.
I'm Adam Roberts. Humanitarian aid on its way to Iran.
I'm Debbie Lazica. Southbound on 43, still dealing with a crash just south of Capitol Drive. The right lane is blocked right now, and we got backup stretching all the way back past Hampton. Earlier accident on 894 southbound at Oklahoma Avenue that was blocking a lane has also been cleared. We do still have big delays, though, from before Mayfair Road all the way down through the Zoo interchange. On the northbound side, got backups from about Swan Boulevard all the way up past Burleigh. And then one other broken down vehicle in traffic, 794 southbound right at the ramp from Howard Avenue. The right lane is blocked there. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Partly cloudy, upper 20s tonight, around 50 and sunny for your Saturday. Right now in Milwaukee, clouds and 38 at 4:31.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, golfing legend Tiger Woods was just arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence after a rollover crash. This happened in Jupiter Island, Florida, just this afternoon. We're told that his Range Rover was photographed on its side. He was not hurt. Here is the county sheriff during a news conference less than an hour ago.
Mr. Woods did a breathalyzer test, blew triple zeros, but when it came time for us to ask for a urinalysis test, he refused, and so he's been charged with DUI, with property damage, and refusal to submit to a lawful test. In the crash, no one was injured.
Woods faces a misdemeanor charge, and he's going to be held in the jail for at least 8 hours, we are told.
An Iranian envoy saying Tehran will allow humanitarian aid through the Strait of Hormuz as the conflict in the Middle East continues. News Nation's Joe Khalil.
The U.S. is waiting literally any hour for a potential response from Iran to the U.S.'s 15-point peace plan that the White House has been talking about. Secretary Rubio saying that could come at any time. As the U.S. waits and as Israel waits, though, they are not pausing their military action at all here in the region. In fact, continuing to ramp it up.
Iranian state media reporting 2 nuclear facilities had come under attack, to which Israel claimed a responsibility.
President Donald Trump signed an executive order to pay TSA agents while the Homeland Security Department remains shut down. CBS Linda Kenyon.
The president has signed an executive order to pay TSA agents with other funds now that Congress has failed to agree on funding the entire Department of Homeland Security. The White House invoked a national emergency to pay the TSA agents in an approach that could create some legal challenges. The Senate had passed a bill to fund all of the Department of Homeland Security except ICE and Border Patrol, but the House did not agree. The impasse, led by Democratic demands to change the way ICE agents operate, followed the ICE-related shooting deaths of 2 Americans in Minneapolis. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
2 men now face charges after a police chase through West Allis ends at American Family Field.
13 pursuits, ×2, 1 for order of 961 eastbound Greenfield.
West Allis police footage showing officers chasing that car after it had fled a traffic stop near 60th and Greenfield earlier this month. It fled to American Family Field's parking lots before police used a pit maneuver. Guns, marijuana, and cash were found inside the car. The driver and the passenger are both convicted felons.
The city is filing a public nuisance lawsuit against an out-of-state landlord for more than 200 dilapidated properties.
The issues vary from collapsed ceilings to broken windows and mold. City Attorney Evan Goike wants the properties placed in a receivership until Highgrove Holdings owner David Tomblin fixes the issues.
To essentially step in the shoes of the property owner. So as tenants pay rent, that rent is used to fix the conditions.
Tomblin owes about $350,000 in property taxes, even after he told housing advocates Common Ground last summer.
By the end of December, those taxes will be paid.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
A new Brewers season is underway, and the Community Foundation for the team is once again ready to support local organizations. Executive Director Cecilia Gore telling WTMJ.
For Brewers Community Foundation, it really kicks off our season of giving back to the community. Our fans are here, our sellers are out there. We're focused on health, education, recreation, and basic needs, and I know that together we can all make a difference.
Brewers Community Foundation has raised more than $60 million since its inception in 2010.
Traffic patterns along I-94 are now settling in after construction changes near the stadium.
With major shifts in place, drivers should see more consistent conditions heading into the rest of spring.
Yeah, now that we've completed that traffic shift, in terms of traffic-wise, we're going to be pretty static for a while.
So now that things are settling safely, the DOT's Eric Hansen says real progress can be made.
We've established these work zones by shifting traffic around, which allows us to do work outside of the freeway, outside of having to take long-term closures or nightly closures too often.
That should mean fewer major disruptions for drivers in the weeks ahead. Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. It's an off day today for your Milwaukee Brewers after they put up 14 against the Chicago White Sox on opening day.
From the top to the bottom, guys drawing good at bats, going deep into counts.
getting the pitcher to throw balls over the plate. It was really good.
Second baseman Bryce Terang there, 2 for 4 with a double on the opener Thursday. Chad Patrick gets the start tomorrow night at American Family Field for the Crew. And the NBA taking a consideration on 3 anti-tanking proposals. Some could involve playoff teams being a part of the NBA's draft lottery, according to ESPN.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:36.
Sponsored by Redo Cabinets. Don't replace, reface.
At Redo Cabinets, we know the kitchen is the heart of the home. It's the place that design and function matter most. Mark Olson here. Redo Cabinets wants to transform your kitchen into your vision without the mess, the stress, or the cost of a full kitchen remodel with cabinet refacing. During our spring sales event, learn all about refacing. Premium cabinet products and plenty of options for color, hardware, style, and accessories. And now get a free premium countertop with every refacing project, or payments that start as low as $195 a month. Call today and book a free, no obligation consultation. Redo Cabinets, 414-677-6417. 414-677-6417. That's 414-677-6417. Or visit us at redocabinets.com. That's redocabinets.com. Serving homeowners for over 70 years in Illinois and Wisconsin. Don't replace, reface with Redo Cabinets.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
4:37 on WTMJ. Julia Fellow here alongside Adam Roberts and for John Mercure. Hope you're doing well. Every Friday we do something that's called
In Case You Missed It.
All right, I am going to go first. And this, and as I'm talking, I'm trying to get into it. This is out of Michigan. A woman was in court defending herself against a debt collector. She joined by Zoom, and the judge was not too pleased when he saw she may be driving.
You cannot be driving, ma'am. What are you doing? Come on.
I'm not driving. I'm a passenger in a car.
You're still not, I'm not hearing cases with people driving or as passengers in cars.
I'm sorry, I have an emergency. I'm going out of town for a family member, but I will have my driver pull over. Hang on 1 second. I'm sorry. I didn't know that I wasn't allowed to be in a car, but hang on 1 second.
Am I crazy, or does it not look like you're driving that car?
I'm not driving the car. I'm a passenger in the car, sir.
You know you're lying to me, right?
No, I'm not, sir.
Let me see the driver. Let me see the driver.
Hang on 1 second.
Her eyes are both.
Now.
I have to ask their permission.
Now.
Oh my God.
Oh, you're not in the you weren't in the driver's side. You think I'm that stupid? I'm entering a default judgment. You lied to me. And put in there, defendant was not available at the time and then was driving a car and telling the court she was not. Have a great day. Thank you.
Take
care.
She swore at him under her breath. On the record, she was ordered to pay more than $1,700 to a debt collector.
In case you missed it.
I feel like I've seen a case before similar where a guy in Detroit was supposed to be at a hearing for driving without a license and appeared over Zoom while driving and then parking the car.
Oh, no.
A little throwback for you. All right, let's go overseas for this one. We, of course, are getting ready for the 2026 FIFA World Cup right here in the US of A and Canada and Mexico. And not a lot of people happy about how much it's going to cost just to be part of the greatest spectacle in world sport. Some of the cheapest tickets earlier on were ranging around $140 for some of these just preliminary matches. We were also seeing some tickets over $8,600 for the final coming up later this summer. So you got to get creative when you're trying to figure out if you really want to see the big game, how you're going to pay for it. Well, one fan in England may be going a little to the extreme. He's going to sell a house in order to fund his journey across the pond over to North America. His name's Andy Milne, a retired school teacher. Now, the catch is this isn't his primary home. He's not selling his actual place he lives. He owns a second residency, so already, okay, you have enough money for a second home. Apparently, he lives in Thailand and had been renting this house out in northern England, so seems like he has a pretty good business expenditure, hoping to get about $465,000 USD, but he really wants to see Britain play in the final. Now, they, of course, have to get there. I would be feeling really bad for him if it's in the semis, ready to go, and then, they don't make it that far. But yeah, coming up this summer, and don't sleep on it. It's going to be everywhere in the news once the matches start happening, especially if Team USA actually comes through, which, spoiler alert, I don't think is going to happen. Not historically great, the men's team.
In case you missed it.
Well, I've got another Guinness Book of World Records record for you.
Another record.
Yes, given that a lot of airports have not been having the best time of it lately, this is a little bit of a happier story. Philadelphia International Airport celebrated National Cheesesteak Day this week by breaking the Guinness World Record for the longest line of cheesesteaks. The airport eateries from PHL Food and Shops teamed up with the City of Philadelphia Department of Aviation to assemble 1,291 cheesesteaks on the concourse between terminals B and C on National Cheesesteak Day. Sandwiches were made from a total of 225 pounds of cheese sauce, 990 pounds of shaved beef, and 1,291 foot-long rolls. The Guinness World Records adjudicator was on hand, and they did confirm the snaking line of sandwich was enough to create a new record. So congratulations to them.
In case you missed it.
There it is. Hot take, I think cheesesteaks are disgusting.
Really?
Yeah.
They are really good
I
with
didn't say they
provolone,
are
though.
tasty. They're just disgusting to look at. It's just a mess of meat and cheese. It's all over your hands, and you got to find where the bathroom is. God forbid you have to be in a meeting shortly after. Just
Sorry,
never been a
Deb.
fan.
I was waiting for the in case you missed it sounder to react.
I know.
Afterwards.
I understand.
In case you missed it. 4:43 on WTMJ. Your traffic and weather, and then Dom Cotronio, your Brewers Insider, next.
When you think about your financial future, it helps to have fee-only fiduciary guidance that puts your interests first. At Annex Wealth Management, you receive comprehensive planning from a team that includes wealth managers, financial planners, and investment specialists working together to support your financial life. Annex's advice is designed to stay aligned with your goals without commissions influencing recommendations. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
Shag carpet, avocado appliances, no frills backyards. A lot has changed. For 100 years, the Realtors Home and Garden Show, presented by Unilock, has showcased what's next, helping homeowners and gardeners rethink the way they live, indoors and out. This year's 100th annual show is packed with ideas for today, from smart homes to outdoor living spaces. Join us March 20th through 29th at State Fair Park. Buy tickets at mkehgs.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Do you love the way your home looks? When you pull in, do you think, wow, the old homestead looks fantastic? Or do you notice that the siding's all faded and the roof is kind of falling apart? Well, Tri-County Contracting can help make it look the way you truly want it and make you love it. The website is tricountycontractingwi.com. It's roofing, siding, and windows that'll make you love your home again. TriCountyContractingWI.com.
So I was talking with another real estate agent who has been in the business even longer than I have, with a couple of other big-name companies. He was talking about how it's tough to compete with us because we have good agents and we charge less commission. And he even said that he lost a few listings to us, and it always bothered him because he realized that he was doing everything that we were doing, but he was charging more. We do charge less, and we do everything that a full-service agency does. Because we are full-service real estate agents. The only difference is we give you our very best commission rate up front. You do pay for what you get. And with Century 21 Benefit Realty for 1.9% on the listing side of your home, with a cap of $19,000 commission on any size home, you can get full-service experienced agents, MLS marketing, professional photos, even virtual walkthroughs, and everything you get from any other big-name agent, all under the umbrella of the Century 21 brand. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scafidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors in Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation. This week, we're talking turkey with the Wisconsin DNR warden. How about some Great Lakes fishing? It's that time of year. How about those charters? And Wisconsin Waterfowl Association. WTMJ Outdoors, it's for the birds.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Traffic is sponsored by Burghardt Sporting Goods, the Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center. Burghardt Sporting Goods. Visit them today in New Berlin.
4:46 on WTMJ. Time to take a look at the roads. Get you home safe. Debbie Lozga's got eyes on it. What do you see, Deb?
Delays along southbound 41, slowing down from Watertown Plank Road all the way down through the Zoo Interchange, down and around the Hale, all the way to about 51st Street. Yikes. It is going to be a bit of a slow ride through that whole area. Also, on southbound 43, we're seeing backups just south of Hampton, all the way past an accident scene that is off on the right shoulder at about 9th Street, just south of Capitol. More delays then from Locust down through the Marquette to the KK River crossing. Northbound 43 is actually looking okay at the moment. We are seeing westbound 894 backups as well from 27th Street all the way to about 60th. I'm Debbie Lozigo with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast for tonight, clear skies, but it is going to be a chilly one, a low down to 24 tonight, 50 and mostly sunny on your Saturday. Now here's a good forecast. Sunday, 64, breezy and mild. I don't know if they'll open the roof for that one. I'd lean towards it. Partly cloudy, 68 lakeside, 74 inland on Monday. There is a chance for showers late. Tuesday, 72 for everyone, but we could see more showers and possibly some thunderstorms as well. Filtered sun, some clouds, and 38 degrees in Milwaukee at 447.
Every pitch.
Zarowski, the pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. His 11th strikeout of the afternoon.
Every trade.
So the Brewers are looking for a guy that can give them 160 to 180 innings, and no better guy to start it off than Jacob Zarowski.
Every moment that swings the game with Brewers insider Dominic Cotroneo on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
And you can hear him on Brewers Extra Innings and after most games throughout this season. All right, one down, 161 more to go. Dom Cotroneo, how are you?
I'm great. How are you guys? Better after a win.
Fantastic.
Always.
What was your biggest takeaway from yesterday?
The pitching's really darn good, and I think there's easy to overreact to the White Sox lineup. It's a very inexperienced lineup, but Miz kind of calming the waters after the leadoff homer, the bullpen not playing any games, just getting right after it. I was really impressed with the pitching. The offense was kind of what I expected. You know, hit some timely homers, put the ball in play, draw some walks, and that's more of what we saw from last season.
Yeah, you kind of took the wind out of my sails there, but I was going to ask you, to 20 strikeouts for the entire staff, 14 runs. But as you mentioned, this is a White Sox team that is bad, will probably remain bad for some time. And so a fan's immediate reaction is to say, yes, but you're saying, hey, this is still a very good Brewers team, bad team we're playing notwithstanding.
Yeah, I've never understood the whole, oh, well, they did what they were supposed to against, a lesser team. I've never understood that because they live in big houses too on the other side, right? I mean, it's just sort of a very unfair thing to call the White Sox like a bad team, but yes, they're inexperienced and they've got some pieces they're excited about. I don't think they're going to lose 100 games again this season, but the way I see it for the Brewers' performance, what is so important about it is that this bullpen didn't even use its main leverage arms, right? You didn't even see – we saw Ashby, right? But we didn't see McGill. We didn't see Uribe. We didn't see Zerpa. And they still got to 20 strikeouts after Miz got 11. So what I'm excited about is the arms and the youth that they have in the starting rotation is complemented by experience and talent in their bullpen, which is kind of what we've seen for the Brewers since 2018.
So now I should be getting excited, I feel, Dom, for Game 2 with Chad Patrick on the hill, but we have this very awkward, I think, off day on Friday, despite the fact that we could host a game if we really wanted to. I know baseball There's a lot of things they're juggling. You know, they're trying, especially on the opening weekend. We got games on Wednesdays. We got games on Thursdays, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But does it just feel like it takes the wind out of the sails just a touch to then have suddenly no game the following day?
I hate it. I flat out hate it. I think it's a total whiff. I think it's awful. I think it's stupid. I hope Major League Baseball is listening. A team that has a roof should not have an off day after opening day. I don't think it's that hard to figure out. But the Brewers aren't the only ones dealing with this.
Right.
I'm sure the Toronto Blue Jays wanted to play yesterday, but they actually requested to move their game to tonight because they felt they would get better crowds. So if we're just moving games arbitrarily, why can't the Brewers just either play a 4-game series against the White Sox or start their season on Friday? I just don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't mind if the league office calls me and explains why. I've been explained why by the Brewers of why they got this off day, and they told me call the league office. So this is why we're at this point. I think it's stupid.
Should opening day be a national holiday, Dom?
100%. 100%. It needs to be a national holiday. If you're going to do it on Thursdays, then yeah, it needs to be a holiday. If I was commissioner, I'd make sure, opening day was on a Friday personally, and it's always on a Friday. And that's an easy way to figure out these rainout dates and everything like that. But the way I see it is that everyone's taking the sick day anyway. Everyone's taking a PTO day anyway. Just give them the day off and go enjoy ball game.
Now, I will counter a little devil's advocate, Dom, because you were talking when we asked you this earlier this week about how Cincinnati does have it as sort of an unofficial city holiday. We did, though, see last night after the game, there was a lot of action in the immediate area around the stadium. Now, not all of it was connected to necessarily the Reds in particular, but you do have to think that it does pertain a lot with where stadiums are located, how easy it is to access them, and how well things are taken care of afterwards. So if you are to make it a holiday, which I don't totally disagree with, you got to make sure you do it well, because we already have it pretty good right now. It's already around here, as we talked about yesterday and the day before. It feels very much already like it's a pseudo-holiday anyway.
Yeah, you look at the tailgate scene, in the words of Brian Anderson, it's always epic. The way that I see the fan base churn out for these days is so much fun. And I think it's really important that the Brewers are an organization that they, as a club, actually request to end the season at home. But I think it's really fun because you have the roof to start the season at home. Now, I'm fine with starting and ending at home, but that's kind of a competitive advantage, if you will. But, hey, they built the roof. So the way I see it for the activity and everything around this ballpark, I just love to see the traditions keep coming out every single year, regardless of what happens with a proposed ballpark district or maybe trying to tweak some things around the ballpark. Whatever that may happen, tailgating is not going anywhere.
How is Jackson Churio right now? I know that he has a hairline fracture on his hand, but I mean, I heard what Pat Murphy was saying, and I kind of understand why he's still going to be gone for at least into next month, because if he hurts it anymore, it could be something more serious.
Yeah, exactly. And with Jackson, this was an injury that he suffered actually at the beginning of the month in the World Baseball Classic exhibition game. So it's always been sort of a hot topic where it's like, oh, your player could get hurt. And then whenever a player gets hurt in a World Baseball Classic setting, people freak out. But he could have been hit by a pitch in spring training, and everyone would be thinking, oh, my goodness, they got to cancel spring training. Nobody would ever say that. So it's an unfortunate thing that happened. It happened. Thank goodness they caught it, and they were able to make a roster move to do so. They're expecting 2 to 4 weeks for him. The good news is, he's been, healing for 3 weeks. He's already in a soft cast, and because it's a hairline fracture, you would hope that he's able to play through a little bit of pain toward the tail end of this of the healing, and then he'll be back to his normal self.
Before we let you go, Dom, the Churio news wasn't the only opening day news we heard. So Brewers owner Mark Ananasio did his opening day Q&A with the media, and he was asked about the TV rights deal and shared that under the new model, the team has actually lost double-digit multi-millions of dollars to $20 million. Calling it a surprise, I'll play the clip here.
We have a very strong financial position, and so when surprises come up like that, and that was about a $20 million surprise, it does not affect how we, plan for the offseason.
And is the $20 million, is that how much less revenue you're anticipating?
Yeah.
Initial response,
Wow.
Dom, big deal, not a big deal in your eyes?
It's a bit of both, because I asked Mark about this during spring training when he had his address with the smaller formation of media, the beat writers, and they knew they were going to take a loss, and they knew they had to budget for taking a loss going into this switch to the MLB model. Now they got the numbers being $20 million. And again, this is the imbalance of power in baseball. The Dodgers get $325 million a year from Time Warner Cable in order to get their television rights deal. The Brewers are actively losing money on their television rights deal. So that's something that's going to be a big topic heading into this offseason with the new collective bargaining agreement. But the Brewers are a savvy organization. They had a rainy day fund ready to go to be able to absorb this. But hopefully in the future, Major League Baseball is able to change this to say this can't be a balance and an advantage for one team to make literally quadruple, quintuple, whatever number it is, times 30 of what the Brewers are making in television revenue.
He is your Brewers insider and host of Brewers Extra Innings, Dom Cotroneo. Dom, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
4:56 on WTMJ. Jacob Mizrowski, he was amazing. Recorded 11 strikeouts, a record for a Brewers opening day, overpowering hitters with high-velocity throws. Producer Nate Rilling made an awesome highlight reel. Here it is.
Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Fastball at 101. He just blew it right past Benintendi. And after the solo home run, Mizrowski responds by striking out the next three White Sox.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Blew him away. And a strikeout.
Mizrowski looks in. Long hold, and now the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Fastball tied up Vargas. Strikeout number 9 for Jacob Mizrowski.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
The 0-2 pitch. Pereira. Swing and a miss. Curveball biting down and away.
Mizrowski, the pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Blew a fastball by him at 99 for his 11th strikeout of the afternoon.
Now the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Elevated fastball. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, Andrew Benintendi. 3 pitches. Take a seat.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a good karma brand station.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory is arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy, and helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Debbie Lazaga here for Car Edge. Are you tired of the car buying process? Car Edge negotiates with multiple dealerships for you, scoring you the best deal while you remain completely anonymous. Check out their glowing reviews. One customer emphasized how quickly their Car Edge concierge found the exact car they wanted for the lowest price out of state. Car Edge even took care of shipping the vehicle, and it arrived within a few days in perfect condition with a full tank of gas. For a limited time, WTMJ fans get 20% off their services. Call 414-667-7413 or visit caredge.com/WTMJ.
At Blaine's, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when you can easily find the trusted farm essentials you need for spring at unbeatable farm and fleet prices? Like $40 off a 15-piece Milwaukee combo wrench kit. Save $50 on a basement watchdog sump pump. And a 16-inch power tool storage rack is on sale, just $24.99. In-store or online, we've got the value you need to do things your way. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
At Associated Bank, we thought about speaking like other banks with hoity-toity names like Total Privilege Pay or something. But we don't speak bankish, we speak your language. When we say 2-day early pay, we mean you get paid 2 days early. $50 overdraft grace zone? That's a grace zone of up to $50 if overdrafts happen. And maintenance fee-free account? Well, that speaks for itself. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/YouGotThis. Member FDIC.
Spice up your workday at the original Botanas on 5th Street. Enjoy a flavorful and affordable lunch, including authentic Mexican favorites, seafood and vegetarian dishes, and fish fry every day. Enjoy a free cup of soup with every meal. Mi casa es su casa at Botanas.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Traffic is sponsored by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Whatever the weather is, visit wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com.
Visit Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center today for another two-man scramble tournament. Play at Georgia Golf Club on spacious, state-of-the-art simulators unlike any other.
Must play in March. Cash prizes only. No green jackets.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
I'm Julia Fellow, your top story this afternoon. TSA agents will start seeing paychecks soon.
I'm Adam Roberts, a golfing legend arrested on suspicion of DUI.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Southbound on 41, technically 894, starts to slow down from the Zoo interchange all the way down through the Hale interchange past Forest Home, so be careful with that. Eastbound 94 slowing down from about 70th Street all the way to 27th. Westbound slowing down from 35th Street all the way to Hawley Road. And southbound 43, you've got heavy traffic from Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette, back on the brakes from Lapham down to the KK River. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Cloudy tonight, a low of 25. Tomorrow sunny, then it becomes mostly cloudy, a high of 46. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, President Donald Trump has signed an executive order to pay TSA agents while the Department of Homeland Security remains shut down. CBS Linda Kenyon.
The president has signed an executive order to pay TSA agents with other funds now that Congress has failed to agree on funding the entire Department of Homeland Security. The White House invoked a national emergency to pay the TSA agents in an approach that could create some legal challenges. The Senate had passed a bill to fund all of the Department of Homeland Security except ICE and Border Patrol, but the House did not agree. The impasse, led by Democratic demands to change the way ICE agents operate, followed the ICE-related shooting deaths of 2 Americans in Minneapolis. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Meanwhile, lines continue to build up amidst the heavy spring break travel season at airports across the country. CBS's Caroline Forbeck in Baltimore.
I don't know if we're going to make our flight or not.
Friday morning was a first for many passengers at BWI.
Never had to wait outside before.
Airport officials warned of long wait times at security checkpoints early Friday amid the spring break travel rush and the partial government shutdown affecting TSA officers. Even passengers with clear or pre-check had to wait outside.
The actual regular line is super long. Thankfully that we have clear. But I was not expecting the clear line to be like this at all.
As of Friday, TSA officers have gone 42 days without pay.
That run could end as soon as Monday if President's executive order holds up.
Golfing legend Tiger Woods was just arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence this afternoon following a rollover crash. It happened in Jupiter Island, Florida. His Range Rover was photographed on its side. Here is the county sheriff this past few minutes ago.
Mr. Woods did a breathalyzer test, blew triple zeros, but when it came time for us to ask for a urinalysis test, he refused, and so he's been charged with DUI, with property damage, and refusal to submit to a lawful test. In the crash, no one was injured.
Those are all misdemeanor charges. The Martin County Jail says they will hold him for at least 8 hours.
Back here at home, changes coming to a Southside business district following sexual abuse allegations against late civil rights activist Cesar Chavez. The Milwaukee Business Improvement District, bearing his name, will be temporarily renamed. The group telling the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel they will also remove, cover, or update existing branding, including street signage that bears Chavez's name as they make the transition to a temporary name. Milwaukee Alderwoman Jocasta Zamaripa had previously indicated conversations were ongoing regarding the name of Cesar Chavez Drive on the city's south side.
A grocery store on Milwaukee's northwest side closed for the second time this month for health violations. Century Foods near Lisbon and Burleigh was ordered to close after a routine inspection found evidence of pest activity yesterday. Milwaukee Health Department ordered a closure on March 2nd for the same reason. The health department's food inspection team typically issues up to 300 temporary closures every year.
Now that baseball season is underway in Milwaukee, fans heading to American Family Field will need to plan a bit more ahead of heading out to the ballpark.
Worried about getting to the Brewers games this season? Fear not. The Brewers and the DOT have you covered with the route planning resource tied to the parking lots.
The Brewers website does have a specific spot for best routes heading to and leaving the stadium.
The DOT's Eric Hansen says it'll make things so much easier for you in light of the new I-94 mega project traffic patterns.
Takes into account the area that the fans are coming from and the parking lot they're going to.
You can get more details at WTMJ.com. Debbie Loziga, WTMJ News.
More Brew Crew news next.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:06.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert here with my son David, Accunet's president and maestro of metaphor. What do you have for us today?
Dad, buying a home is a lot like having a baby. And it turns out that in today's extra competitive market, getting real estate pregnant with your offer accepted is the hardest part. So along with your agent, your Accunet loan consultant will do everything possible to get your real estate bun in the oven.
Yep, we can definitely help buyers make their offers more competitive. Okay, so once you've made the real estate baby, so to speak, what else do buyers and their agents want?
As a son, now this is getting gross and I regret the metaphor. But the next thing everyone wants are regular checkups and an on-time delivery. That's where Accunet really shines, with proactive weekly updates to reassure the sometimes nervous homeowners-to-be that everything's okay and on track.
It all starts with a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval, and our home buying clinic is always open. Just click on the blue button at Accunet.com to get started. That's ACCUNET.com.
Tax tips brought to you by the Neal Group.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group, with today's tax tip. Make sure you report all your income when filing your return. By law, you need to report all income you receive, even if you didn't get a W-2 or 1099. This includes any side gigs you may have done in 2025. The IRS matches your return with what others say they paid you. Don't get a notice saying you didn't report income and they are charging you penalties and interest. You earned it. We help you keep it. For more tips or if you have questions, visit nealgroup.net or call 414-325-2040. That's NEAL group.net.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers do have an off day today, 14-2, the final on Thursday, and their win over the White Sox.
From the top to the bottom, guys drawing good at-bats, going deep into counts, getting to the pitcher to throw balls over the plate. It was really good.
Brewers second baseman Bryce Terang there, 2 for 4 with a double in the season opener. Chad Patrick on the hill for the Crew tomorrow night in Game 2. You'll be able to hear that game and every Brewers game right here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ. And 4 games in the NCAA men's basketball tournament tonight, as those 4 teams are hoping to advance from the Sweet 16 to the Elite 8.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:08.
Get new Pella windows and doors with 0% interest until 2032. PellaWI.com. Wisconsin homes ask a lot of their windows and doors. With our unpredictable weather, they need to perform in every season, year after year. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build everything around quality, durability, and long-term comfort. And right now, we're making long-term comfort easier than ever. Order today and get 0% interest until 2032. Not just a few years, 0% interest all the way until 2032. That means you can upgrade your home now and pay over time without paying a dime in interest. From your free in-home consultation to expert installation, Pella's local team is with you every step of the way, helping you choose the right products for your home, your style, and your budget. And with our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident long after installation day. 0% interest until 2032. Set your free on-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2026.
Kessler's Diamonds. Kessler's Diamonds.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, Julia Fellow and Adam Roberts.
I haven't heard that one, Kessler.
That's a new one. That one threw me a little bit. Love you, Kesslers, but
who sang that?
Maybe 2 takes there.
Maybe that was one of our producers that read it. No, I didn't. 5:10 on WTMJ. Would you ever want to go to the moon?
Maybe not right now. Maybe 100 years from now when it's routine.
Yeah,
I would not want to be the first civilian crew to go there.
When we have a first class. To be an interplanetary species, a lot of people are saying you got to have a base on the moon, another base, another one. NASA is pushing forward with an ambitious plan to establish a long-term human presence on the moon through its Artemis program. They're aiming to build a $20 billion base near the moon's south pole. That's where ice could be used for water, oxygen, and even rocket fuel. And to accelerate the progress, NASA is pausing its planned Lunar Gateway Station, refocusing its efforts on that service. They say they plan 2 astronaut landings in 2028. But for now, they are planning on a 4-person crew later this year. Artemis 2, they are not going to land on the moon. Instead, they're sending astronauts around the moon. They're not landing on it. Then back to Earth, testing the critical systems to make sure everything's okay and calibrated. Then they'll have the Artemis 3, likely in 2027, which aims to land astronauts on the moon, and then so on and so forth after that.
I noticed you didn't include any mention of holding a flower and kissing the ground like noted astronaut Katy Perry, of course, who is not known for anything else.
Oh, when she made it back?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I would do it.
Yeah?
I would love to do it. Yeah, are you
more
kidding
power
me?
to you.
5:12 on WTMJ. Your traffic and weather are next, and then your everyday hero with Eric Bilstead.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Appliance Gallery. It's right on Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee. They have a huge showroom, the most up-to-date in our state, featuring luxury brands like Wolf, Miele, Fisher & Paykel, and more. Their in-house installation crew can work with your contractor, remodeler, or designer. They get it right the first time. They can place freestanding or panel-ready built-ins. They have incredible attention to detail if you want your appliances to blend in effortlessly with your cabinetry. If you're looking for a built-in espresso machine, yeah, they can do that too. You can even customize with colors with luxury brands like True Residential. This is a locally owned company. They're ready to take care of you, elevate your kitchen. You deserve it. Check out their incredible showroom in Milwaukee on Wisconsin Avenue or head to appliancegallerywi.com. That's appliancegallerywi.com.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms, and they offer early memory loss classes to help you. They specialize in this area. It's kindness at the core, locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. It's compassion, it's empathy. It's Wisconsin-based and family-owned, always welcoming people to come tour and welcome their new residents. I've seen their places. They're top-notch. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
Traffic is sponsored by TABACattorneys.com. Social Security benefits denied? Call TABAC for the payback. Unable to work due to health problems? Let TABAC help you get approved for the Social Security benefits you're entitled to. Call TABAC for the payback. TABACattorneys.com.
Traffic and then weather, Debbie Lasaga.
Yep, we've got eastbound 94 backing up from about 76th Street all the way through the stadium interchange to just past 35th. Westbound is pretty clear. We're not seeing too many delays there at all. Southbound on 43, heavy from just south of Capitol Drive all the way down towards the KK River. Southbound on 894 backing up from about Lincoln down and around the Hale interchange to Forest Home. More backups heading right past Loomis. And then on northbound 41 backing up before Mayfair Road all the way up past Capitol. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Here is your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 25. Sunny tomorrow, then becomes mostly cloudy, a high of 46. Partly sunny Sunday, a high of 60. Mostly sunny for your Monday, a high of 57. A chance of rain and storms on Tuesday. Throughout the day, it'll be mostly sunny, though, a high of 67. Right now, Milwaukee, it's cloudy and 37 degrees. 5:15 on WTMJ. Time to recognize another everyday hero. Here's Eric Bilstead.
An everyday hero is when Wisconsin's morning news celebrates an average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning they'd be saving a life. Today we head to the Blue Ridge Mountains of northern Georgia. Boy Scout Troop 277, based out of Houston, was on a whitewater rafting trip. Pretty neat summer trip for the boys. Now, these trips and these whitewater rapids can be intense, depending on skill level. You wear a helmet, you got a life jacket and all that. Well, Assistant Scoutmaster David Lemley was in a raft with a handful of scouts. When the rapids got rough, he was actually thrown from the raft once. He was able to climb back on board, but then it happened again. And this time, David's foot got caught in the raft while his body was on the outside. His foot wedged in the seat, and he couldn't get himself out of the water.
My waist and head were underwater, and so it's like you're laying on your back across the side of the boat, and my head's just bouncing off of rocks.
Lemley speaking with KHOU 11 in the Houston area, so his weight has him stuck over the side of the raft under the water while his foot is wedged under that seat of the raft.
I'm fighting to do whatever I can to keep breathing, but I could not get back into the boat to free my leg.
It was becoming serious. That's when 13-year-old Devin Champenoy showed up.
I took like 3 deep breaths and then acted calmly and safely.
Devin had been on the front of the raft. He turned and used scout training to free the Scoutmaster's trapped foot. Then they were able to get him back on the raft, while, by the way, they were still going down the rapids. Lemley was busted up pretty good. He even broke his foot. But he's alive.
There's no doubt in my mind, had Devin not stepped forward and released my foot, I was going to die.
Devin saves his assistant scoutmaster's life. He was even awarded the Boy Scout Honor Medal with crossed palms. This is the Scouts' highest honor for heroism. Fewer than 300 scouts in history have ever received it. Devin's response to being asked if he's a hero?
I didn't feel it at the moment. It was just instinct at the moment. It took a while for me to take the fact that this happened and I saved a life, but I think now I've accepted that.
Accept this, Devin. You are an everyday hero. Everyday Hero, sponsored by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Good stuff, Eric. If you missed any of it, you can text HERO to 855-616-1620 to hear the whole story, see the story. Eric does a great job putting the Everyday Hero together for us. It's 5:18 on WTMJ on a Friday. Adam Robertson for John alongside Julia, getting you ready for the weekend once again. And I don't know about you, Julia, but my weekend, quite literally, is not complete until Reporter's Notebook airs Sundays at 10 right here on WTMJ.
Me too.
So, yes, I do put the show together, host, produce. I wear so many hats, I'm starting to fall over from Reporter's Notebook. But we got a good one once again for you this week. Had a great conversation as we take a field trip on Reporter's Notebook this weekend to the sauna. Julia, you enjoy beautifying and taking care of your skin and exterior. Are you a sauna gal?
Where is this? What sauna were we at? Are we at a public
No, we're
place?
talking just like dry saunas. It could be public, could be at the gym, anywhere.
The gym I'm not too hot on.
Is that a pun?
There's too many people. That's all I'm going to say.
That's fair. So I use a sauna at the gym I work out in downtown. And yeah, depending on the day and the time, they're not big. And yeah, it can get a little cramped in there. But sauna business in southeast Wisconsin in particular has skyrocketed. the last couple of years. In Milwaukee in particular, many sauna businesses have started to pop up. There's one down in McKinley Marina where you can go into the sauna with a group and then do the cold dip right into Lake Michigan and cycle
That's
through.
fun.
There was also the tragic story in the news recently of Driftwood Sauna Club in the Harbor District near Walker's Point that suffered a fire just under a month into them beginning operation, and now they're trying to rebound as well. But no matter where you look, we're hearing more stories about sauna culture and sauna business taking up in southeast Wisconsin. So how does that relate to Reporter's Notebook, you may ask? Well, I sat down this week with three ladies from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, Kelly Meyerhofer, who's normally on the higher education beat. You normally hear talking about UW-Madison. Bridget Fogarty, a Western Suburbs reporter, and photojournalist Hannah Schrader. So all three dipping a little bit out of their comfort zone to talk about a more general assignment story, but still taking away some interesting insights from it.
I think a big thing is that people are connecting with people next to them. They may not go in thinking that they have, anything necessarily in common or to talk about, but the conversation just flows so easily. And I saw that at the businesses. I saw that in the backyard where these women were coming together with strangers in their neighborhood. But, they walked down the driveway not knowing what it was going to end up like. And the conversation just flowed so naturally.
So Hannah's talking there about this group in Shorewood. There was a woman who had gone to Costco. You can buy these big barrel saunas that you can just put in your backyard. You got to set them up a little bit. It's not just ready-made. They drop it off. But she had convinced her husband, hey, I want to have this just for my own personal wellness, then turned it into an adult social gathering, inviting complete strangers, which is taking a big leap for yourself. And personally, something I don't know if I could bring myself to do. I don't know about you.
Oh, no.
But they went
strangers?
But they went
Gross.
forward with it. And it was really interesting as I was reading the piece that Kelly and Hannah did on this. These women are bringing over offerings like gifts, bouquets of flowers, cookies. It turned into this whole social experiment. And Julia, you and I, and anyone who's an adult knows, getting friend groups and any kind of social gathering once you hit a certain age is basically like extra credit homework assignments sometimes. So the turnout was fantastic. And there are so many underlying stories on this too. It's not just, I want to talk about saunas, but we talk a lot about this and many different angles on it on the show this week. Also, WTMJ's Jessica Ty is going to join me, unrelated to saunas, but Jessica has been really working hard the last few weeks on this story you've likely seen her reporting on the Ridgeland Farms animal activist escapes and rescues of these beagles that were being tested upon by this group out in rural Dane County. And Jessica put together a lot of great reporting on this. And as you know, as well as I do, Julia, with stories like that involve legal matters, possible criminal charges, it can be hard to get people facing litigation to speak on the record about anything. As we mentioned earlier when we were talking about the landlord lawsuit, the landlords that I don't want to comment, haven't seen the suit yet, but I'll let you know. With this story, Jessica says a lot of people, they wanted to get their story out, and we've seen it. People really have been interested in this.
So with the Ridgeland Farms, are they just a breeding facility for these other scientific locations?
So they are a breeding facility. They also have I believe, a license to conduct the tests that they do. Now, there are some changes coming later this summer. Jessica gets into all of that as well. But what I found really interesting about this story was not just that it had a life during Wisconsin's Midday News, but the life it had outside. And producer Gina for Wisconsin's Midday News did an excellent job sharing those little nuggets, the digestible stuff we always want when we're busy. You only have a few seconds and we're all trying to make an impression. Really honed in on that element of storytelling and reporting that has to exist nowadays. So
yeah, and I also learned a lot about why they choose the breed, the beagles, for scientific testing, because that breed is so docile, so friendly. So I don't know, that just really got me choked up when I heard about that.
And not to mention the story, not just a local one, it's spread internationally. When you see Wolf Blitzer in the Situation Room on CNN talking with the lower third of Ridgeland Farms, Wisconsin, yada, yada, that's when you know something that just out in the middle of nowhere seemingly has blown up into something much bigger. So Jessica worked really hard on that, and we'll talk more about it. And saunas also on Reporter's Notebook, the Sundays at 10 right here on WTMJ, or you can catch the podcast, which will be live in just about an hour. It's 524 on WTMJ. Let's get a look at the markets. Your Annex Wealth Management market update. Spoiler alert, not great. Not great at all. The NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P 500 all either approaching or in correction territory. The NASDAQ, the big loser, off 2% on the day, and the Dow and the S&P 500 both down more than 1.5% to end the week. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Redo Cabinets. The kitchen is really the heart of the home, so why not make it a space you truly love and deserve? With Redo Cabinets, you can transform your kitchen at a fraction of the cost of a full remodel overhaul. Once you choose your new look, the colors, the trims, the crown molding, even a backsplash, their experienced team gets to work. And the best part, they can be in and out of your home in as little as 7 days. 7. No months of construction, no living without your kitchen, just fast, beautiful results. And right now, for a limited time, you can get free premium countertops with every cabinet refacing project. So if you're dreaming of that brand new kitchen island, Redo Cabinets can do that as well, all at the same time. The materials are all made in the USA with roots right in Ohio. The company has been family-owned for more than 70 years. This is the smarter way to remodel your kitchen. Less stress, less cost, stunning results. Visit redocabinets.com today. That's redocabinets.com.
Hey, John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. Annex knows how important it is to work with an advisor who understands the community you live in. Annex Wealth Management is local, independent, and committed to Southeast Wisconsin. Their investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning teams are based right here. Is your advisor a fiduciary, placing your interests ahead of their own? Annex is a fiduciary all the time. They've got the same local tax knowledge when strategy and timing can be critical, especially with the filing deadline approaching. Are they able to guide you in organizing an estate plan that reflects your wishes and takes care of your legacy? I have that with Annex. Annex Wealth Management is a fee-only fiduciary all the time, passionate about making financial journeys better for you with comprehensive strategies and empowering education. It's financial planning on every level. Whether you're on your financial journey just beginning, whether you're deep in, whether you need expert advice, it's Annex all the way. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com. Annex Wealth Management, know the difference.
Scratch this off your bucket list. Travel by luxury motor coach to Mount Rushmore this spring. Vince Vitrano here for KB Excursions. From the western charm of Deadwood, the legendary Wall Drug, even a Royal River Casino stop. This 5 nights, 6 days trip includes meals, lodging, and all gratuities. You just have to get on board. The trip is booking now for the end of May. Let KB Excursions be your guide and your ride. Sign up now to head west at kbexcursions.com.
A buck in today's world doesn't go far unless you're spending it at Griffin. Because for just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. Buy one or a whole set. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand. We'll put you in new tires for just $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. That's right, $1 over cost, and we'll even show you the invoice to prove it. So what's the catch? There's really no catch. You don't have to buy a car or a truck from us. We'd like it if you did. But our only requirement is we put them on for you. Buy 1, 2, or a set of 4. The $1 deal at Griffin. Available at Griffin Chrysler Jeep South, 27th Street, and Griffin Ford Waukesha. The $1 deal at Griffin. Make your dollar go further. Griffin, the buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. $1 over cost. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Hey, John Mercure here for Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. Quite simply the best in the business. You got a shoulder that's not feeling great. Maybe it's an ankle or a knee. Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin and their top-tier doctors can get you feeling how you deserve to feel. My wife, Michelle, had a back issue. OHOW put her in a great place. She's on the mend. She's feeling better. She's doing all the things that she wants to do. Start at the website, ohow.com, ohow.com. Request an appointment. Start your journey to feeling better with the best. Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin.
Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at amazonbusiness.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:30. I'm Julia Fellow. Your top story, the president reports on action in Iran.
I'm Adam Roberts. Shocking body cam footage of a Milwaukee cop clinging to a truck.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Southbound on the bypass. Going to be a heavy ride from Lincoln all the way down through the Hale interchange, swinging onto eastbound 894. And doesn't really let up until you get past 51st Street, so careful with that. Southbound 43, heavy from Keefe all the way down through the Marquette and over the high-rise. Back on the brakes from Beecher Street down past the KK River. And then on westbound 94, we've got backups from about 30th Street to about Hawley Road, eastbound from 76th Street to 35th. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Clear tonight, lows in the mid-20s, sunny and 50 for your high on Saturday. We'll get the full forecast from Storm Team 4 Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky coming up in about 7 minutes. Right now, we've got mix of clouds and sun, more sun than clouds, and 37 in Milwaukee at 5:31.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, President Donald Trump signed an executive order to pay TSA agents while the Department of Homeland Security remains shut down. CBS Linda Kenyon.
The president has signed an executive order to pay TSA agents with other funds now that Congress has failed to agree on funding the entire Department of Homeland Security. The White House invoked a national emergency to pay the TSA agents in an approach that could create some legal challenges. The Senate had passed a bill to fund all of the Department of Homeland Security except ICE and Border Patrol, but the House did not agree. The impasse, led by Democratic demands to change the way ICE agents operate, followed the ICE-related shooting deaths of 2 Americans in Minneapolis. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
An Iranian envoy saying Tehran will allow humanitarian aid through the Strait of Hormuz as the conflict continues overseas. News Nation's Joe Khalil.
The U.S. is waiting literally any hour for a potential response from Iran to the U.S.'s 15-point peace plan that the White House has been talking about. Secretary Rubio saying that could come at any time. As the U.S. waits and as Israel waits, though, they are not pausing their military action at all here in the region. In fact, continuing to ramp it up.
Iranian state media reporting that 2 nuclear facilities had come under attack, to which Israel claimed responsibility.
Tiger Woods was arrested and charged with driving under the influence after a car crash in Florida. The sheriff says Woods' Land Rover was going very fast when it clipped the back of a truck on Jupiter Island, where Woods lives.
They did several tests on him. Of course, he did explain the injuries and the surgeries that he had. We did take that into account. But they did do some in-depth roadside tests. And when it was determined, he was placed under arrest and taken to the Martin County Jail.
The Land Rover ended up on its side. Woods had to crawl out of the passenger window, according to authorities. He was not hurt.
Back in Milwaukee, police today releasing body camera footage of an officer-involved shooting earlier this month on the south side.
Stop the car! Video shows police confronting 35-year-old Jonathan Otto in his flatbed truck at the corner of South 12th Street and Burnham Street. The officer attempts to remove Otto from the truck when he starts the vehicle and speeds off, leaving the officer clinging to the side, while a female passenger tells the officer to jump off the truck. I can't jump off! The officer then fires a shot to stop the vehicle, killing Otto. The officer involved is a 46-year-old man with over 21 years of experience. He has been placed on administrative leave. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Change is coming to a Southside business district following sexual abuse allegations against the late civil rights activist Cesar Chavez. The business improvement district, bearing his name, will be temporarily renamed. The group tells the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel they're also going to remove, cover, or update existing branding, including street signage that bears Chavez's name, as they make the transition to its temporary name. Milwaukee Alderwoman Jocasta Zamaripa previously indicated conversations were ongoing regarding the name of the road.
New curfews for young people coming to downtown Milwaukee later this summer. Police Captain Robert Thiel says a new curfew center will hold youth in violation 17 years old and younger, telling 1017 the truth.
They'll have some dedicated officers there that can evaluate to see if maybe a citation or maybe just a warning. Or the challenge is we're trying to get community partners to help us with that, to help us identify challenges, because maybe it's housing, maybe it's a lack of food, maybe other outside challenges that are contributing to this. So we're trying to get some other groups involved with this.
The news following a violent weekend last weekend in the city's Water Street district. The curfew would cover the period between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. Fridays and Saturdays.
Milwaukee was chosen as one of the 5 cities to participate in America's 250th birthday party. America 250, a nonpartisan Congress-backed commission hosting nationwide block parties to celebrate the 4th of July. The last day of Summerfest will feature patriotic tributes, including performances from Jelly Roll and Sam Barber. The other 4 chosen cities include Charleston, Fort Campbell, New York, and Los Angeles, which will each feature their own unique events.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Off day for your Milwaukee Brewers today. The season-opening series against the Chicago White Sox resumes tomorrow, with Chad Patrick getting the start for the Crew. You can hear that game right here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ. 4 games on the NCAA men's basketball tournament schedule tonight. In the NBA, the Bucks are off this evening. They're back at it tomorrow at Fiserv Forum against the San Antonio Spurs. 7 Bucks on the injury report. Giannis Antetokounmpo, of course, remains out with a bone bruise and left knee hyperextension. Gary Harris, Kyle Kuzma, Bobby Portis, and Miles Turner all questionable to play.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:37.
Shag carpet, avocado appliances, no frills backyards. A lot has changed. For 100 years, the Realtors Home and Garden Show, presented by Unilock, has showcased what's next, helping homeowners and gardeners rethink the way they live, indoors and out. This year's 100th annual show is packed with ideas for today, from smart homes to outdoor living spaces. Join us March 20th through 29th at State Fair Park. Buy tickets at mkehgs.com.
Hey, John Mercure here. I love Otto's Wine and Spirits. It makes me smile. Served in Milwaukee since 1945. It's where I buy my wine. It's where I buy my beer. It's where I buy my spirits. It's Otto's Wine and Spirits, employee-owned, friendly staff, 7 locations. They know what they're doing. They've got the best prices at Otto's. They've got the best selection. Open 7 days a week with several locations. Milwaukee, Menominee Falls, which is where I go. Elm Grove, Brown Deer, Cedarburg. It's Otto's Wine and Spirits. They are the real deal. Buy it at Otto's.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
He is Chief Meteorologist Brian Isnansky. And Niz, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Julia. How you doing?
Well, I'm reading what was the reason for, remember when there was that mission that was at the ISS and they had to suddenly turn the astronauts around and have them come back to Earth very quickly? I think this was January 7th. And they wouldn't say what the medical emergency was. And we kept on thinking that it was the female. It wasn't. It was a male, Mike Finke. He apparently stopped speaking for 20 minutes. And it really made the other astronauts extremely concerned. So they ended up saying that he told everyone that he could understand what everyone was saying. He could think clearly, but he was physically unable to form any words. So they did some tests on his cardiac and everything. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
I think it's a panic attack, no?
It's hard to say. I don't know if I can necessarily predict what it is.
Yeah, I can't diagnose that either. But I mean, my first thought is obviously like some sort of, again, not a doctor, stroke or something that. But yeah, I mean, either way, that's crazy. I mean, mentals. What was it?
he was perfectly fine. His speech returned to normal, no lasting symptoms, leaving doctors stunned, unable to determine what the cause was. Unexplained neurological episode is what they're saying. Isn't that interesting? I thought it was
He almost
the lady
went
that
into
was
time
pregnant.
warp.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he did.
I mean, that's a total reset. You know, sometimes it's going to happen when you go to space. No, I have no
course.
idea.
Sometimes when
As
you're
a
on
frequent
air.
space traveler yourself.
Yeah.
Melissa,
When I'm
no.
on air and I space out.
Absolutely.
Hey, let's bring it back.
You know,
oh, go ahead.
That's a good point. I mean, I don't last for 20 minutes, but I definitely get some brain fog going, and you know, that's real for sure.
All right, let's bring it back down to Earth orbit here. I've got a question on fire danger. I saw you on Channel 4 just a few minutes ago with the map up. Most of southeast Wisconsin looks like right now we're in that high fire danger category. Now, we talk about this every seemingly start of spring, late March, early April. You've had the snow melt. We've been pretty snow-free now since that big storm recently. And now you've got all this dry brush that's being exposed. As you're tracking the danger, does this kind of feel like just par for the course, or is it worse than years past?
I think it's a time to just be cautious here in southern Wisconsin. I don't think, we're not entering like extreme fire danger by any means. However, that won't be too far away. You get into Iowa and beyond, red flag warnings out that way. That's where temperatures are going to be warmer. Humidity is going to be even less there, and also windy conditions. Now, we won't have nearly the weather elements to go along with our dry brush as they do out west. Our humidity, while it will be relatively low and temperatures are on the rise and it will be breezy, we're not looking at conditions that warrant anything close to a red flag warning. So my advice would be with that dead winter brush, any spring, and when you have fire danger starting to get into that yellow category, at the very least, be careful. At the very most, maybe hold off on burning. But I think a nice happy medium is to check with your local municipality. Make sure it's okay. Make sure there's no restrictions. Make sure that you're doing the right thing, and just give them a heads up.
All right, Niz, let's walk it through the 5-day. I spy with my little eye a couple of 70s, but it looks like it could come with a wet caveat.
Yeah, it could. So as we go into tomorrow, beautiful day, mostly sunny 50. Now, Sunday, we get up to 64, partly cloudy and breezy. Monday will be our first shot at 70, partly cloudy skies. We'll go with 68 in Milwaukee, but 74 degrees inland. Now, Tuesday, a high of 72, but that will come with some showers and storms likely. Going to have to watch out Tuesday. Tuesday will be a day that if we do build up instability, if you do get some daytime sunshine, that could be a day that we do have some strong thunderstorms. So just keep that in mind as well.
He is Chief Meteorologist Brian Isnansky. Will we see you at 6 o'clock?
Yep, you sure will. Have a great Friday, everybody. Enjoy the weekend and enjoy the nice weather.
Yes, and go Brewers. 5:42.
Go Brewers, yep.
Yes, on WTMJ. Your forecast is brought to you by Infinity Exteriors.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTRCM.
Keeping you updated on culture and creativity. What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
In the studio with the co-directors of the new documentary, simply titled Uke.
It's combining my two great loves of baseball and dreaming of being a baseball player someday and becoming a filmmaker, and somehow the two worlds have collided.
Now that they know what he was going through, it'll just make his fans love him even more.
Weeknights at 6 on WTMJ and the What's on Tap podcast on WTMJ.com.
Lake Geneva is the Midwest's premier golf destination, featuring breathtaking views, crystal clear lakes, and rolling fairways. Treat yourself to an all-inclusive golf getaway with courses designed for all skill levels, luxurious lodging, distinctive dining, and a relaxing spa. Plan a Lake Geneva group golf outing, a corporate event, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. Their pros will help you plan a memorable golf experience. For info on courses and more, visit lakegeneva.com today. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for legendary golf.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
5:46 on the dot on WTMJ. Let's get one more check of the roads before 6 o'clock. Debbie Lozaga's got it. Deb, I'm looking at I-94 right in the trouble spots, and looks like we just had a crash come through a couple minutes ago.
Yep. A crash on westbound 94 at Mitchell Boulevard. The left lane is blocked right now, so that's got backups all the way back to 35th Street. On the eastbound side, we just have backups from about 76th Street all the way to about 35th. Southbound 43, on and off the brakes a bit from just south of Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette. And then you're back on the brakes from about Lincoln down towards the KK River. Southbound on 894, backups from just south of Lincoln all the way down and around the Hale interchange, pretty much all the way to Loomis. And then we've got northbound 41 backing up through the construction zone between North Avenue and Capitol Drive. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Every pitch.
Zarowski, the pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. His 11th strikeout of the afternoon.
Every trade.
So the Brewers are looking for a guy that can give them 160 to 180 innings, and no better guy to start it off than Jacob Zarowski.
Every moment that swings the game with Brewers insider Dominic Cotroneo on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
And you can hear him on Brewers Extra Innings and after most games throughout this season. All right, one down, 161 more to go. Dom Cotroneo, how are you?
I'm great. How are you guys? Better after a win.
Fantastic.
Always.
What was your biggest takeaway from yesterday?
The pitching's really darn good, and I think there's easy to overreact to the White Sox lineup. It's a very inexperienced lineup, but Miz kind of calming the waters after the leadoff homer, the bullpen not playing any games, just getting right after it. I was really impressed with the pitching. The offense was kind of what I expected. Hit some timely homers, put the ball in play, draw some walks, and that's more of what we saw from last season.
Yeah, you kind of took the wind out of my sails there, but I was going to ask you, 20 strikeouts for the entire staff, 14 runs. But as you mentioned, this is a White Sox team that is bad, will probably remain bad for some time. And so a fan's immediate reaction is to say, yes, but you're saying, hey, this is still a very good Brewers team, bad team we're playing notwithstanding.
Yeah, I've never understood the whole, they did what they were supposed to against, a lesser team. I've never understood that because they live in big houses too on the other side, right? I mean, it's just sort of a very unfair thing to call the White Sox like a bad team, but yes, they're inexperienced and they've got some pieces they're excited about. I don't think they're going to lose 100 games again this season, but the way I see it for the Brewers' performance, what is so important about it is that this bullpen didn't even use its main leverage arms, right? You didn't even see – we saw Ashby, right? But we didn't see McGill. We didn't see Uribe. We didn't see Zerpa. And they still got to 20 strikeouts after Miz got 11. So what I'm excited about is the arms and the youth that they have in the starting rotation is complemented by experience and talent in their bullpen, which is kind of what we've seen for the Brewers since 2018.
So now I should be getting excited, I feel, Dom, for Game 2 with Chad Patrick on the hill, but we have this very awkward, I think, off day on Friday, despite the fact that we could host a game if we really wanted to. I know baseball has a lot of things they're juggling. You know, they're trying, especially on the opening weekend. We got games on Wednesdays, we got games on Thursdays, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But does it just feel like it takes the wind out of the sails just a touch to then have suddenly no game the following day?
I hate it. I flat out hate it. I think it's a total whiff. I think it's awful. I think it's stupid. I hope Major League Baseball is listening. A team that has a roof should not have an off day after opening day. I don't think it's that hard to figure out. But the Brewers aren't the only ones dealing with this.
Right.
I'm sure the Toronto Blue Jays wanted to play yesterday, but they actually requested to move their game to tonight because they felt they would get better crowds. So if we're just moving games arbitrarily, why can't the Brewers just either play a 4-game series against the White Sox or start their season on Friday? I just don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't mind if the league office calls me and explains why. I've been explained why by the Brewers of why they got this off day, and they told me call the league office. So this is why we're at this point. I think it's stupid.
Should opening day be a national holiday, Dom?
100%. 100%. It needs to be a national holiday. If you're going to do it on Thursdays, then yeah, it needs to be a holiday. If I was commissioner, I'd make sure, opening day was on a Friday personally, and it's always on a Friday. And that's an easy way to figure out these rainout dates and everything like that. But the way I see it is that everyone's taking the sick day anyway. Everyone's taking a PTO day anyway. Just give them the day off and go enjoy ball game.
Now, I will counter a little devil's advocate, Dom, because you were talking when we asked you this earlier this week about how Cincinnati does have it as sort of an unofficial city holiday. We did, though, see last night after the game, there was a lot of action in the immediate area around the stadium. Now, not all of it was connected to necessarily the Reds in particular, but you do have to think that it does pertain a lot with where stadiums are located, how easy it is to access them, and how well things are taken care of afterwards. So if you are to make it a holiday, which I don't totally disagree with, you got to make sure you do it well, because we already have it pretty good right now. It's already around here, as we talked about yesterday and the day before, it feels very much already like it's a pseudo-holiday anyway.
Yeah, you look at the tailgate scene, in the words of Brian Anderson, it's always epic. The way that I see the fan base churn out for these days is so much fun. And I think it's really important that the Brewers are an organization that they, as a club, actually request to end the season at home. But I think it's really fun because you have the roof to start the season at home. Now, I'm fine with starting and ending at home, but that's kind of a competitive advantage, if you will. But, hey, they built the roof. So the way I see it for the activity and everything around this ballpark, I just love to see the traditions keep coming out every single year, regardless of what happens with a proposed ballpark district or maybe trying to tweak some things around the ballpark. Whatever that may happen, tailgating is not going anywhere.
How is Jackson Churio right now? I know that he has a hairline fracture on his hand, but I mean, I heard what Pat Murphy was saying, and I kind of understand why he's still going to be gone for at least into next month, because if he hurts it anymore, it could be something more serious.
Yeah, exactly. And with Jackson, this was an injury that he suffered actually at the beginning of the month in the World Baseball Classic exhibition game. So it's always been sort of a hot topic where it's like, oh, your player could get hurt. And then whenever a player gets hurt in a World Baseball Classic setting, people freak out. But he could have been hit by a pitch in spring training, and everyone would be thinking, oh, my goodness, they got to cancel spring training. Nobody would ever say that. So it's an unfortunate thing that happened. It happened. Thank goodness they caught it, and they were able to make a roster move to do so. They're expecting 2 to 4 weeks for him. The good news is, he's been, healing for 3 weeks. He's already in a soft cast, and because it's a hairline fracture, you would hope that he's able to play through a little bit of pain toward the tail end of this of the healing, and then he'll be back to his normal self.
Before we let you go, Dom, the Churio news wasn't the only opening day news we heard. So Brewers owner Mark Ananasio did his opening day Q&A with the media, and he was asked about the TV rights deal and shared that under the new model, the team has actually lost double-digit multi-millions of dollars to $20 million, calling it a surprise. I'll play the clip here.
We have a very strong financial position, and so when surprises come up like that. And that was about a $20 million surprise. It does not affect how we, plan for the off season.
And is the $20 million, is that how much less revenue you're anticipating?
Yeah.
Initial response,
Wow.
Dom, big deal, not a big deal in your eyes?
It's a bit of both, because I asked Mark about this during spring training when he had his address with the smaller formation of media, the beat writers, and they knew they were going to take a loss, and they knew they had to budget for taking a loss going into this switch to the MLB model. Now they got the numbers being $20 million. And again, this is the imbalance of power in baseball. The Dodgers get $325 million a year from Time Warner Cable in order to get their television rights deal. The Brewers are actively losing money on their television rights deal. So that's something that's going to be a big topic heading into this offseason with the new collective bargaining agreement. But the Brewers are a savvy organization. They had a rainy day fund ready to go to be able to absorb this. But hopefully in the future, Major League Baseball is able to change this to say this can't be a balance and an advantage for one team to make literally quadruple, quintuple, whatever number it is, times 30 of what the Brewers are making in television revenue.
He is your Brewers insider and host of Brewers Extra Innings, Dom Cotroneo. Dom, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Construction is progressing on an air cargo facility at Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. The approximately 333 square foot South Cargo Logistics Hub is expected to be completed this fall. An 8-unit apartment building in Waukesha sells to a missionary training nonprofit. Global Assist Campus Inc. purchased the multifamily property, which will serve as student housing for Ethnos 360's Bible Institute for $1.9 million.